Welcome back to the Bourbon and BS podcast. Sorry. This is episode 362. Sean Wilkinson, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
And Nate Hale.
Hello.
I'm Steve Crane, and we have a special guest tonight. Before we dive into everything, though, this is a familiar company to the podcast. They've been extremely supportive, and we always love talking to them. And want to thank you guys for supporting us. Patreon.com/BourbonandBS podcast for the continued contributions. Helps us keep this thing going with less money out of our pocket, which is fun. We enjoy doing it with you guys, and hopefully you enjoy joining us every other week, typically. And we want to also you can contribute on Venmo at Bourbon and BS for one-time contributions if you want to buy us a bottle or just support the show. We appreciate that. I want to thank our sponsors, Tinder Box at Easton in Columbus, Ohio, where we're kind of based out of. They have the featured cigar tonight, along with other My Father cigars. We'll get into that here momentarily. We also want to thank Altadis USA. You see some of their brands behind us: Monte Cristo, Romeo, Julieta, H. Upman, Aging Room, among others. And we always appreciate their continued support. We have a second cigar for part 2 tonight, the Romeo y Julieta, the Reserva Real Nicaragua Midnight Twist. That is a mouthful. It's a great cigar. BS Cigar Company, the gold and silver now available. The gold is made by Plasencia, and the silver is made by Espinosa, our previous episode's guests. We had Hector, Alfonso, and Jack Tarano from Espinosa. And the BS Silver is a product that we blended with Hector and the guys at Espinosa. So check that out as well. We appreciate that. And if you want some swag, you always look at buyjack.com/bourbonandbs. Nate and I did not plan it, but we have the 3/4 sleeves in different colors for the BS Cigar Company. And you have Sean in the podcast shirt that was a limited run, the green color. Pour one more, light up another. We'll figure this out together.
Last week we were sweating our asses off, and this week we're like, hey, let's go 3 sleeve and possibly a hoodie backup.
Yeah.
I'm kind of still sweating, but I'm a sweater, so that's what.
No, not that. Just you've been running around.
I've been running around a little bit. And I'm a sweater.
Breath, just
what?
It's okay. You're fine.
Ask any questions on the comment feed. We're on Facebook and YouTube. We monitor mostly Facebook. We try to keep an eye on the YouTube channel as well. So we appreciate that. And without further ado, we have Joe from Barrell Craft Spirits. Joe, how are you?
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Doing wonderfully, gentlemen.
Nice fall weather.
Yes.
It is nice. We got about 70 degrees here. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to watch college football on Saturday.
Nice.
Oh, you got ice in the water already?
What's that? No, not yet.
No, it's just straight out of the fridge.
Not yet. Yeah, Joe, thank you for joining us. If you want to introduce yourself, I will admit on the air I was so scattered getting ready that I say, hey, Joe, what is your position with the company? And so, again, I apologize on air for doing that. Complete brain miss there. So please introduce yourself. And what's your position with the company?
I'm Joe Beatrice. I pretty much do any job that needs to get done. I'm the founder. I started this. It's almost 15 years now. 15 years ago. Wow. It's gone by like that. It's pretty amazing. If you don't know us, we are original blenders. I started this. Well, actually, let me tell you a little bit about the backstory. I mean, that might be a good place to start. So I had a whole other career. I did a whole other life, and I was tired of writing PowerPoint presentations, and it was time for something new. And so my company was really focused we're early on the internet space, and did a lot of development and a lot of application development, websites, all this stuff, all these different things.
Right.
And along the way, I made beer. I knew I had a good palate, and my wife and I was really thinking about what the next phase of things should be. And we were actually at a distillery, and took a minute and said, what do you think about doing this? And my wife said, yeah, sounds good. It took 1 week to figure out that I did not want to build a distillery.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious capital, time, all those things, expertise. So I started focusing on what I could do, which is to blend great product. So started out figuring out where we differentiate. We started out, with the original batch number 1. We're on batch number 38. The intent was to put something incredible in every bottle, do everything at cask strength. There was virtually no cask strength products when we started. There were a handful, BTAC stuff. And make every batch different and unique, because my point of view on it then and still is, people always want to try new and different things and experience different taste profiles. So that was the beginning. We started out, I opened the first 100 accounts, and now we're distributed nationally. We do somewhere in the order of 25 or 28 blends per year, whether it's a very limited release online or a private release for some kind of joint deal that we do with somebody.
I've seen a lot of like barrel, or not barrel picks, but I guess you'd call them something similar. I was just in Chicago this last weekend at Binny's, and I've seen so many different ones that you guys have done with them. And so we we focus on bourbon, whiskey, rye, and occasionally rum. We haven't produced rum in a while, unfortunately, because I love really good rum. And so some of those that you would see up there are cask finish whiskeys that we have produced and they had selected, and sometimes we'll just actually do a real just a begin to end blend for somebody. Right. Yeah. And so, what was your background before this? Before you said to your wife, "Let's do this"?
Marketing technology. I started a company in New York in the 80s, and it was early into the internet boom there. And we developed everything from applications to large-scale integration to front-facing websites and consumer experience stuff.
Wow.
We were doing social media before there was social media.
Are you happy to be out of that?
It was called consumer-generated content.
Okay. That's right. That's awesome. So we have batch 38 here. Let's get into it. So have you guys taken a sip? I'm holding off until we're going to do it together.
I've had a couple.
sips.
That's cool. Joe, you and I can have a sip together.
We've each needed a couple.
Screw these guys.
It looks so delicious, Joe. Couldn't stop herself.
I was holding off too.
Yeah. The
Well,
gentlemen typically do.
No one said.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
See why I have to be in the middle, Joe? I got to keep
I mean, it looks to me like you guys have had 3 or 4 of these, but maybe I'm
This is why you get fired.
No, not yet. So batch 38. This is the newest one that's just hitting shelves around the country. Is that correct?
Yes. It was released probably a month ago. It's hard because I'm living 6 and 12 months out, and so this to me was January's project.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I have to reacquaint myself, and it's a keeper. We'll stay with this. This is so. For those who don't know, our blend was our signature product we started with. Our batch, and it's always a blend of different states, different mash bills, and different ages. And so we're based in Louisville. We have a facility there, a blending bottling facility, and our rick house is in Shively, which is a few miles away. So it's an old historic rick house. It holds about traditional, not palletized. It's ricks, and it holds about 10,000 barrels, and we keep most of our barrels there. And so we have a pretty diverse inventory of different bourbons, and as well as different secondary maturation experiments we've been doing for years, all kinds of different toasted barrel experiments. So with this one, we can talk about that later if you want. So this is bourbon, and also we put on the front of the label, we call it the blend components, which are the states and the ages from those states. And so this product is 8, 9, 10, 12, and 15-year-old bourbons. And the reason we do that is for me, I actually like 5 to 8-year-old bourbon. I think it's a sweet spot for me. But what I really like is layering in older bourbons for the wood contributions, and the sweetness and all the things that come with an aged bourbon, without it being just an aged bourbon. So we could certainly release 12-year-old, 15-year-old, 18-year-old, but for me, it doesn't. It's the taste is better when it's blended with younger product to give it this real fullness of flavor. So that's the why of doing it that way.
Okay.
The other thing that we do is, so this one, we do a thing called the derived mash bill, which is, people kept asking us what's the mash bill, and the mash bill it's all over the place because it's different ages, we use different mash bills in each product. So what we ended up doing is we figured out that we could do the arithmetic and do the derived mash bill, which is we take the number of barrels that are a specific mash bill, add that all up, do the division, and we can figure out what the mash bill is. And in this case, it's 79 corn, 17 rye, and 4% malted barley. So high rye, but a little bit on the lower side of the high rye.
So that's like a summary number, is what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, it gives you a top line it gives you like an indication of what you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
And that's really good.
What I find interesting too is going from batch to batch is how different they are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Tripp has said that's been, that's part of the fun of it all, right? And you're kind of doing the same thing with all the different offerings you do, not just with this one. You have, for those that aren't as familiar, you have the 4, right? The kind of 4 core line. Is that correct? Or is Foundation considered a part of that now too?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we get 4 to 6 SKUs in the store, that's great.
Yeah.
I was just in market, and I sometimes it's just incredible the support we get that people never have. But our core is made up of the Batch, Dovetail, which is a whiskey, Seagrass, which is a rye, and Vantage, which is a triple oak bourbon. Foundation. So those are all cast strength offerings. The MSRP is $85, has been from day one, and it's continuing. We haven't taken any price increases, and it's think of us as Costco. We have a margin, and we're gonna get that margin, and anything extra goes back to the consumer. So there's a lot of whiskeys here that we could charge a lot more for, but we don't. We keep the prices constant. The Foundation, and there are 2 offerings of Foundation, is about $45 to $50 price point. And it's the first time we have ever done a less than cask strength product, and it's 100 proof. And so, that I think Tripp had probably mentioned that, because you guys talked about Foundation, and it's a product.
While, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's a product that, it's not like we blend something and then cut it. We actually take different whiskeys as part of our process, and I can tell you about that if you want to know. And we'll cut some of the whiskeys to the point where the contribution has not been compromised, and then we blend it together. So then the tricky part is getting it to 100, which takes a little bit of tinkering, but we get there.
Yeah.
So that's really the core lineup. Plus, we have all the other special things we do.
All the special ones. Yeah, we just had the cigar blend cask. Cigar blend.
Cigar blend.
Cigar blend. We talked about that with Tripp last. Yeah, that one was fantastic.
Yeah, you have like cigar blends, you have cigar casks,
Yeah.
But
this is the blend.
Yeah.
This you can see that I drank this one. This. Yeah, I'm so fickle. Like whichever the new one is my favorite, but this is my favorite right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, I really like it. I love the balance on that. Just speaks to me.
And that's something that it sounds like you guys will do again, is the plan with that one.
Yeah, you wanna hear an interesting story about this one?
Sure, of course.
Okay. So July 3rd. So we produced it. We did maybe 1,500, 2,000 cases, and it sold out really fast. So we have been preparing for this, and we have a lot of barrels that we picked from. So we reblended it at the end of June, and on July 3rd we put just under 1,600 cases on a truck, sent it up to the central warehouse which is in New Jersey, and got a call about 5 o'clock the truck went off the highway and tipped over.
What?
Ooh.
I would show you pictures, but I don't want to pick up my phone.
Oh, jeez.
We're not gonna do that. So let's
Yeah.
trust me. It
Yes.
was an interstate highway and went over on the side.
Goddamn.
So the wrecking
didn't go
company.
well.
It did well. I don't know yet. So the wrecking company, which is based about a mile from the corner in the road that the accident happened, which is a great business model. They recovered it. It was a pretty intense recovery. They did it, and so we're just waiting to get it back here to see. Nothing spilled, even though it was on its side. Nothing spilled. But we have to take it back, and we're going to have to inspect every single bottle to see what's going on there. And if it's the ones that are fine or intact, we'll either rebottle it or we'll repackage it. But that journey of those bottles are going to be an extra special release of the cigar blend. It'd be the same price, but it'd be an extra special release of the cigar blend. But it was, and so July 3rd. And who do you think works on the rest of that weekend?
No one.
Nobody. Yeah. So, and
Fireworks.
it's still not back. It's still not back. It's supposed to come back. It's supposed to be back at the beginning of next week, and we begin sorting through it. So that's my cigar blend story.
Are you going to add that to the label?
I was going to say rebranded as the rollover survivor.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
The rollover. Well, hey, if other companies can do it for fire survivor or flood survivor, you guys can do it for rollovers.
Oh yeah, man.
the interstate crash.
Takes a beating and keeps on kicking.
Austin Mayberry says, was the driver drinking the freight? That's from the audience out there.
Hey,
Might be missing a bottle.
I'm sure they pee test them very quickly.
I have to tell you the other part of it that was really awful is the truck. It was a brand new tractor trailer. It had 2,000 miles on it.
Oh my!
You know how much those things cost?
Yeah.
A lot.
It's crazy. Yeah, a lot.
Especially brand new.
Yeah. It was nice and shiny and purple. And it was really
It's a house on
Shiny and purple.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's dull and turquoise.
Yeah.
Dull and brown purple.
It's got a little dirt on it.
Yeah.
Scratches.
Yeah.
Joe, what is your favorite part about doing this?
Let's see. That's a good question. I really like the part when we're doing events or in market, and I try to do that. I try to get out and do something at least once a month. I really like meeting people, hear what they have to say, we enjoying the product with everybody. And that's a great part of it. I like the blending part of it. That's the real fun part. And then everything else is work.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I mentioned this, but we're a small family business. So it's my wife runs the company with me, and two of my three daughters are in the company as well. My oldest daughter is a CMO, and my middle daughter is the head chief designer. She's the head of all creative. Everything you see, everything from label to materials to the website, she touches. She does. She designs it all.
I'm assuming that when you go out to events and have tasting events, I'm sure it's got to be pretty satisfying too. People giving you good feedback on that.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. It's nice to hear that people like what you're doing once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does everyone in the family?
It's really easy to talk about whiskey, right? I mean, how hard is that? You get to talk about something people want to talk about. Like I mentioned, as in technology, who wants to talk about that? It's like, what do you do? Move on. It sounds boring. I don't care. Oh, you do whiskey? Okay.
Oh yeah, come on over. Let's talk.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because there's a lot of times we'll be out, like my wife and I will be out, and she is a very successful executive recruiter for a company, and you have that small talk, with people. Like we go to on vacation, we go to a lot all inclusives, and so you get, hey, so what do you guys do? Where are you from? All this stuff, and she's like, oh, I'm an executive recruiter, and she is the breadwinner. I mean, her career is way more impressive than just me as a person, basically. And then, hey, don't laugh.
I'm sorry.
And then, but it's funny because they're like, "Oh, that's really interesting." Okay, and then they're like, "How about you?" And I was like, "Well, I actually work in a cigar shop," and they're like, "Wow, that's really interesting." And all of a sudden, they're just like, it's usually the wife and the husband, like they're just like all in, and then she just kind of like fades to the background. I'm like, but her job is
right.
like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm having like sell the fact that her job is so much more impressive than mine, but
and for a far larger company.
Well, far larger company. But like to your point, yeah, it's like who doesn't like to hear, about like a whiskey job or a cigar job or just something that is a passion for some people that it's not your I guess status quo type of a answer you're expecting from someone when you ask what do you do.
It piques an interest.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I've talked to a lot of people that I've met and like, what do you do for your job? And I tell them like, logistics, freight. And all of a sudden it's like, well, I am a big connoisseur of cigar and bourbon. Same thing. Wait, screw your job. Okay. What did you just say? It's like,
you work in the aviation. If you're not a pilot, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So when the plane makes that noise, what does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
It all depends. I have to hear it first.
I was thinking that we were on a flight recently where I've never had this. I don't know how many times, thousands of flights, and the plane was coming back to Louisville for landing, and it went up in the air again. I'm like,
right.
And so an uncomfortable length of time happens, and the pilot comes on and goes, "We had to go around again because a plane landed in front of us, and the cargo door was open, and they want to make sure there's no luggage on the runway."
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Do you think maybe they should check if the doors close before they leave? I don't know.
That's usually a pre-flight check. I don't know. You got to ding the pilots on that one.
I thought UPS was the only ones to be able to travel with their doors open.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Was UPS is watching.
My dad retired, so it doesn't matter.
Do you guys do this type of a sheet for everything that you guys put out? You said your daughter who does, touches all that stuff.
Yep.
I saw you kind of held up this sheet here. Is this available to the public? Yeah. Is this available to the public, or is this just press release to the who's
who? It's generally available. All this information is on our website. So our website is really detailed. You probably won't see the UPC on there because
sure.
I don't think you need that. But,
got it. Take it off.
But pretty much everything else is there. Yeah, we do that for every single release that we do.
Nice. No, that's good. It's a ton of information. I mean, it's hard to see on the screen unless you guys are out there watching on like your big screen or whatever it might be. But just want to throw that up there. I was going to ask earlier. So when you say it's a small family business, like everyone's in it, basically, does everyone enjoy the product, or is it like not everyone is into the whiskey?
My family?
Yes.
The designer daughter Katie, she doesn't really drink.
Okay.
Allison, she does. She likes it. My wife drinks it, but we're all. This is business.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because we have another good friend on the cigar side, right? Rick Rodriguez, and his daughter got into the business. He was with another company for a long time, and then he branched out on his own with West Tampa Tobacco, and his daughter Sarah became part of the business. But she didn't smoke cigars.
Yeah.
But she would still go to the cigar events. She would go to like everything and be big ambassador for the company, obviously, and she had her hands in it and stuff like that. But that's why I asked, because to your point, you don't always have to. I mean, you can be knowledgeable of the product and everything, but not always do. I was just curious on that one.
Yeah, and I guess the other part, what do I also like? I think the blending part of this is really the best part. I mean, meeting people in the blending part, that's the fun stuff that you do. And I don't know. Again, our process is that we have a way that we approach it, which is we whiteboard concepts what we're looking for. And in the case of like a batch, we'll always taste the last several, so that we're doing something different. We're not going to repeat something. We have such we basically have the ability to produce infinite variations of things at this point. And then we do in our lab, we do test blends. So we're constantly sampling barrels because we're monitoring finishes and toast levels to make sure that everything it doesn't go too far, because an over finished barrel is Worse
Right.
than, there's not much you can do with that. So we keep an eye on that. So we have samples all the time in the lab, and then we start blending. And then when we get to a blend, and it's Trip Simpson, Nick Christensen, and myself, and when we get to a blend that we like, we basically have a formula, so it's like, 50 barrels of this, 20 of this, 3 of that, whatever it may be. So then we bring those barrels in, and then we start building the blend in the large tanks. They're 6,000 gallon tanks. And so there's twins, so we can make it as large as we need.
Yeah.
And then we step our way up to the final volume, because there's, even though that we are precise on what we did in the lab, there's variation. Within 100 barrels is going to be variation, so we may have to make adjustments for that. And then when we get that right, we just turn the switch, run the liquid into the bottling room line, and bottle away, put in a box, put in a truck.
Do you ever when you finally get a concoction that you want to send to the public, do you like maybe test it and then try to, a couple of days later, check the other, try it again and see if anything changes variation wise? Or do you
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I figured so.
Yeah. So our tanks have, we had this, we created the agitators with a fluid dynamics company. And so it's slow moving. There's different propellers at different levels, at different angles. So it turns over the entire contents of the tank in about 20 minutes. But even doing that, so you get it's harmonized. It's all completely blended, throughout on a molecular basis, I guess, right? And so then at that point, though, no matter what, the whiskey's angry because it's been agitated, and so
Sure.
it really has to settle down. So we do taste it then. Then we will taste it the next day, and sometimes we'll let it sit for 3 or 4 days or a week, and then make sure before we bottle it, that's exactly what we want. So it's not when we blend it and then get it in the bottle.
Right.
This is a painstaking process.
I'm kind of newer to like how that's all done. I've been to a tour down in Kentucky and stuff, but they did, usually when you do those, you're just seeing like, okay, this blend is for this bottle, this is what we're making here, but like not to be able to see how they're actually like creating the blend. And I can picture like beakers and like chemistry sets where you're pouring stuff. Do you do stuff like that, like to measure? I'm assuming you would.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. We do everything. Somebody asked me what volume we do, and it's a relatively small volume. So we're doing it in milliliters.
Okay.
We actually know what the equation is for a drop into a gallon.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. That's exactly, the difference. So this is a difference. So like with a legacy blend, so pick anyone. They generally have a formula of it's 25 from this rick house in this location, 50 from here. So they know what the microclimate in the rick house does to the barrel, and so they're blending. It's a little bit different blending because we basically are creating a new product every time. They're replicating a product. It's a different process. We replicate a product when we do the core, Seagrass, Vantage, and Dovetail. Those are products we're blending to a specific profile that we want to be consistent. And we do that by manipulating which barrels are in there. That's why the proofs are always different over time, because we're using the same type barrels, but there's variance with that, and so we have to make adjustments.
What? And maybe I'm ignorant of it, but why do you think that you guys are basically still on the forefront? You say 15 years, but as far as doing things the way you guys do, where I know there's a lot of people that source, right? That's pretty. I mean, MGP was like probably the biggest for the longest time, right? And may still be, but it's like people will source their whiskey and sometimes maybe blend on a smaller scale. But if you know of another company, let me know. Why is it that you guys are still, do you think, corner this market on the way you do things? Because again, I've been in a lot of different liquor stores and been in different distilleries. But when you go walking down, like I said, I was just in Chicago, walking down to Benny's whiskey aisle, there's so much to take in, right? And I saw some Barrell bourbon there, and I was talking to and it depends who you talk to at a liquor store, but at this Benny's, this guy knew his stuff, and I kind of asked him. I said, is there anything really like Barrell because I knew this was coming up. And he was just like, he kind of thought about it, but it didn't take long. He's like, no, not really. He's like, those guys just, I don't know how they do it. They just throw a bunch of shit all together in different ways. And somehow it comes out the way it does. I was like, maybe I just dumbfounded with that question, but like, it was like, is there another company that is kind of doing things primarily the way you guys do it? I know some of them will do it differently, where they'll do like the staves in there and you know, stuff like that, where they'll come up with different concoctions. But for you guys to do the things you guys do, and like they had their you had your New Year's bottle still on the shelf at this one Benny's I was at.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. I mean, I think the one we had the one time, I don't know if it was this year, or I think it was maybe 2022, but it was like 18 different barrels or something like that. And it was just like, yeah. So is there anyone else doing it? And if there is, great. If not, why do you think that you guys have kind of been the primary people doing this the way you do it?
Okay, multiple parts there. First, a big part of it is Trip, Nick, and my palate. So we're constantly we all know what each other likes. We have different there are different things that we like better, and we always come up with a consensus in a way that is something that we think really tastes good, because nothing gets in the bottle unless it gets the thumbs up. We also we are really leading innovation.
Can you turn your phone back over?
Oh, did it?
You're echoing.
You're muffled.
That's weird. I didn't do anything here. Hold on. How about
I think
now?
you're better.
Okay. I just moved the inch. So we've been leading innovation since the beginning, and for me, the goal really was to create something really unique and different every time. We have had a lot of seminars that we do, and we always find out that there are people in there taking notes, and it turned out to be sometimes competitors. But it is people in the business quickly find out that there's a difference between dumping barrels of a type and blending to a precise profile. So I think a lot of it has to do with our expertise and also leading the innovation of things. And also getting the balance right when you're using finishes. It's really difficult. I mentioned overfinish. An overfinished barrel is, we don't waste it because you can figure something out to do with it, but you don't really want to overfinish anything. So knowing that balance, we never use staves or anything like that. Look,
right.
I'll give you an example. Like one of the big disappointments to me is what happened with Amburana. People either love Amburana or hate it. I love it.
Huh.
We actually, when we got into this, we have a bunch of Amburana barrels. I actually have a map of the location of where the trees were harvested from, ethically, sustainably harvested in South America. The wood was imported in the barrels, the wood dried, barrels raised. And so these barrels are spectacular. They're really expensive. They're almost as expensive as Mizunara barrels. I mean, these were like $5,000 something each.
Wow.
And without whiskey in it. And so then, it was one of those things, we put the whiskey in and it was done in 2 weeks. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. So it's one of those things where it's really easy to overfinish the barrel, and then you've got something that's like not really drinkable. The other side of that was because it's so expensive that people were using staves and chips and dust, whatever, and put it in there, and that has the staves have a very different impact on things. I mean, Makers is probably they were probably the first using staves in the product, and they do a great job with it. But it's a delicate balance with that too, because the contribution from the stave is faster and different. So it ended up with we bring it to market, and the market is already sorted into lovers and haters of Amburana, and so it was
it was a little bit ruined, which is too bad because I just love the flavor of that whiskey.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
5,000 a barrel. What frame of reference there? Because you put that in the comment just now. Like, where does that fall into other finishing barrels that you will get your hands on?
It's everywhere. They're generally way less than that. Well, Mizunara is also, can be up there, whether it's a new one. It depends on whether you bring the wood in and it's raised here, whether it's a used barrel from Japan or a new barrel from Japan. Depends on what it is. You can buy finishing barrels. Well, let's start on the other extreme. A new barrel for a basic bourbon mash bill can be a couple $100.
Okay.
And that went up. That went up during the wood crisis of around 2008 or so, somewhere in there. Heavy later than that. 2012, 14, somewhere in there. And there was a shortage of wood because production was so high. There was a shortage of barrels, so you have whiskey getting made, or in secondary barrels. And so that's on the other extreme. But then there's all kinds of different sizes, and it depends on the quantity. It could be €300-400 $100 to $1,000 a barrel. There's barrel brokers out there, so there's
that makes sense.
Used barrels. I mean, it's like any other industry. Everything's a commodity out there now.
Well, I'm sure it follows the trends too, right? I mean, obviously, if there's a higher demand, I mean, they can demand more for it, right? That makes a lot of sense during this last several years with this crazy boom you've gone through. Just the whole industry's gone through. It's been incredible. So I'd imagine that would be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some wine barrels, and I'm not talking about the giant, 1,000-gallon barrels or stuff like that, but like I've seen 55-gallon wine barrels that, because of the oak that they're being used for, I mean, you're 10-15 grand for a new barrel.
Yeah.
So, and then sometimes those might be used as a finished barrel for something, or take Middleton, very rare, the Irish whiskey. Every year they do a different wood finish or different wood aged barrel, and so those bottles are a couple $100 every single year. But there are people that sit there and seek them out every single year because they want to do a side by side. It's like, all right, it's the same juice, but it's aged in this type of wood this year, this type of wood this year, and they want to see what those little nuances and flavors and differences and stuff like that is.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, I think I don't know if it was before we were talking about the French oak. It was 12-year-old bourbon in French oak, secondary maturation. We're going to do another release of that. That oak, those barrels are from 3 different forests or 3 different distinct properties. So we're also blending different types of wood. We like working with Hungarian oak. That's what's in Cigar Blend. It has different contributions, but they make the secondary maturation is a huge impact. Or any the wood contribution is larger than people realize. And when you do a secondary maturation, whether it's a toasted or any kind of finishing barrel, has a huge impact on the whiskey.
Well, that makes sense, obviously, yeah. Does the barrels that you're using in the finishing, I mean, this is like an elementary question, but I mean, does that affect the price? Because everything goes into it, when people look at it. And I think sometimes it's not direct to the consumer. Sometimes I think it's inflated. That's any product that is a consumable product, in my opinion. But I mean, when it comes to, obviously, you have the age, you have, for you guys, obviously, where you're sourcing it from, which distilleries and everything else, everything has varying prices. But how much impact on the price of the actual bottle to the consumer comes from the barrels that you're using? Is that a big impact? I mean, I'm not looking for an exact answer. Is that a big impact, or is it more the age of the juice?
Yeah. All of these things contribute to it. So, what goes, remember, we start from a different model, which is we're price point this on the shelf. And so we have to manage our cost of goods. And the cost of goods are, bottles, labels, labor, whiskey, finishing, storage, whatever, shipment, whatever it is. So we're always balancing that out. It's hard, and if we do something on some of our limited releases, which are 150 and 200, there's a reason that's that price point. It's mainly because the cost of goods for the whiskey was so much higher, or was a particular barrel. So our margins are pretty much the same across things.
I got you.
They're a tad higher in the higher ones, but not isn't that what you think? So it's hard to understand what competitive pricing models are for limited releases, because it really it depends on the year and what the whiskey is. Some of them are more expensive than they should be. But they all have different business models, so I'm not really sure what they're thinking on that.
No, I think it varies, obviously, and I think through the last several years, I mean, there are bottles that you will see, and I don't want to name any names, but over the last several years, where it was like, say, it was like a $39.99 or a $49.99, then all of a sudden, I mean, I've seen it. They get a high rating, or they win these awards, and it's the same, at least from the bottle and the stickers on it. It's the same thing, and it jumps $20-$30. And that's a huge percentage at those levels, right? Yeah. So you're going up these major percentages, and then all of a sudden, like, people just kind of sometimes take it. They're just like, oh, well, that makes sense. It was kind of a sleeper before. No one really knew about it. Now everyone knows about it. Now it's higher. So I was going to say that earlier when you said that you kind of started out at what, $89.99 for the core and the batches.
Yeah.
The market's creeping up to you guys. I think when you guys first started, I mean, and I don't know if you felt that, heard that from consumers. You're like, well, I haven't heard of you. You guys are a little expensive. Yeah, I see what you're doing. I see you guys are transparent with the years of everything on the in these blends. But have you noticed, is there an uptick in sales because of your consistent pricing, which everything's got to go up eventually. But I mean, as of this point, everything else started creeping up. To that used to be, if you could find a bottle for $50 or less, suggested retail, you're winning. Now that $50 kind of benchmark I feel like, I don't know what you guys think, but it's pushed up to like $70, $80 for those types of bottles that you used to hope were like 50. Maybe, obviously, you wish they were always less, but the market's coming up to your price point.
Yeah, a couple things. I think, again, the reason that we started that price point was so that we could do things like put 15, 18, 20-year-old bourbon in there.
Right.
Because, again, I flip it around. I was focused on what it is. I wanted whatever you bought from our product, I wanted you to say, okay, that's good. Whether you like one more than another, that's fine, but it's at a quality level that is consistent. So that was really important to me to do that. And look, I mean, we've all bought whiskeys at $50, $80 that you go, what am I doing here? And you won't go back to that. And I had that experience at the beginning, and it's like, we're not going to do that. We're going to make sure we don't do that. So that's sort of ingrained into the ethos of the brand. Yes, prices are creeping up. There's an interesting thing happening on the shelf where there's downward pressure on the low price ones. So whiskeys that are $25, they're now competing $19.90, $21.95. So you're seeing a little compression on the value side. At the $50 price point, it is, if you go to Kroger, look down the aisle of the $50 shelf, it's unbelievable. It's a lot of feet of bourbon. Yeah. And you are seeing, I think, definitely a movement up.
Yeah.
But there's a, and if you look at volumetrically, the sub $100 price point is more competitive and tighter. The $50 price point is wider and more brands, but there's more volume in that segment.
Yeah.
I hope that answers it for you.
No, it answers it. I mean, it's so interesting to see, because I think with the bourbon world, specifically whiskey, a little bit wider, right? But I think the bourbon world, especially, there's all the constant flux, right? Especially, again, you go back now the last 6 years, really, maybe a little before that. But I mean, it's been such a roller coaster for obvious reasons, and some maybe not obvious reasons. We don't know all of them, but you had these massive expansions on some of the major bourbon distilleries, as far as, especially in the Kentucky area and elsewhere. But you saw all that go up with these. I mean, you're talking billions of dollars being pumped into these things, and you had a secondary market that was clearly to me, and I think we've talked about it on the show before, the secondary market was really kind of a force behind that movement, right? You know, you had certain distilleries, certain bottles that were tough to find, and you had them being, if they were on the shelf, people were buying them and maybe never even cracking the bottles, and they're starting to become currency. Where I feel like, and I don't know if you had any of those bottles that you felt that, but I don't know if Barrell Bourbon was really in that game at that time. You guys were kind of just you guys doing what you're doing, and I think you've seen a little bit of that slowdown, and as production matches what they thought, I don't know what turns some of these bigger distilleries are going to do. I mean, you're going to have to either they're going to have to come out with new products, right, or they're going to flood the market with their core products that were at one point extremely hard to find. But now you're going to see a bottle of that, just like you see a bottle of Woodford on the like basically Woodford on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people are going to stop buying them because you can find them. You know, it's like you want to buy it to enjoy, right? So I just didn't know. I mean, as far as this industry goes, it's where you got your vantage point is different than most, which is why I think it's so fascinating to me. It's like what you're seeing from your seat and what your company's doing versus I feel like a lot of the small and especially the large distilleries and even the ones that don't have the distilleries are sourcing everything. They're constantly either the supply and demand is going to be just crushing to some of them. I feel like where you guys are riding the industry, but not necessarily that supply and demand. Like what do we need to put out to get to the demand? And then when that dries up or slows down, as people are kind of hinting to in the bourbon market on certain bottles, certain products, you guys will just kind of be more of that kind of steady flow, maybe.
It's like allocated stuff.
Yeah,
Allocated stuff. I mean, the obvious one is Weller, Sazerac products, right? I mean, those are the obvious ones. I mean, I didn't say it particularly, but I mean, that's clearly the main one, right?
Yep. I think I'm happy. I'm happy to go on a little bit about the dynamics of this because it's fascinating, right? So and the starting point should be COVID. So the explosion was insane. And what did that have to do with? People had disposable income and nowhere to spend it. Like, where am I going to spend it on? So whiskey became a focal point, and it really grew. We watched the secondary market, and we knew where our products were in the secondary, and they were fairly consistent, and some were higher than others. But then there's a bunch of other dynamics that happened right after COVID, and so. And the consumption is down. People were pointing at Gen Z, which I never thought was true. And this week it was the entity that monitors ISW. I'm blanking on the initials, but ISW. Oh, hang on one second. What they came out with is Gen Z is actually drinking at the rate of consumption that is considered fairly consistent across all demographics. What I think is going on is you have post-COVID, from a consumer point of view, you've got GLP-1, you've got THC, you have definitely a moderation movement, and then you also have online gambling, which is cut heavily into all disposable income, especially for males under 40. I mean, it's something on the magnitude of 80 to 85% of male below age 40 engages in on a regular basis some level of online gambling. That's massive. That's a huge amount of income, disposable income taken out of the ecosystem. You've also got incredible pressure on distributors from consolidation of distributors to legacy brands pushing inventory levels at a high rate, thus using up a lot of cash for distributors, making it more competitive. So you get constriction on the shelf. So you have all of these factors that are at play here. So the market is much tougher to compete in right now.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know how you could get a product distributed that new right now if you don't have a relationship. You can do some D2C, but you've got to get awareness. So it's a real tough market to compete in, and it's going to continue to go that way for a while. Even if the consumption grows and it's normalized consumption, it's still going to be a tight market because of those constricting factors.
Do you think, you mentioned the Gen Zs, and I joke just wait till
ISWR. Sorry, ISWR.
ISWR. I think the Gen Zs, I joke about it because it's like wait till they start, they're in their 20s or whatever. Wait till they start dealing with some tough parts of life. They're going to start drinking. Like,
good idea.
COVID, it's like, you're working from home. Like, I don't want to go into an office. Eventually you're coming into the office and they're like, God, that drive home was terrible. I need a drink. And I just kind of joke about that. They'll figure their way there. But I'm wondering too, and again, not trying to dog, because obviously we're all into this. Do you think that part of this, this industry, the younger generation, I think you brought up that Gen Z there. Do you think that the bourbon is not cool to them yet? You mentioned THC drinks. That's a huge thing, obviously, right now, right? That's huge.
It's huge. I look at it from the perspective of, what's in the total wine store. Now you're seeing the THC shelf moving closer to the front of the store. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing people who can speak to the different products. So you're definitely seeing that out there. I don't know. I think that to answer your question about whether it's cool, one thing that happens is, with some exception, generally palates for people who are at LDA, 21, they're beginning to form. Their palates are beginning to form where they tolerate, they like, and they enjoy whiskey. I learned that from Scotch producers in the 90s. It was really, I did a lot of work in another company with spirits vertical, and I learned a lot about it. And that's where I tasted cask strength whiskey. And so it's really, there's a palate development part of it. There is, Gen X was all about authenticity. Authenticity means something different to the younger demographic. They're also more interested in expansion of, in the same way I was mentioning that when we hit the market 15 years ago, people wanted to try more different whiskeys. They're looking at a portfolio of adult beverage consumption, which is broader than tequila, whiskey, rum. You got huge RTD, ready to pour, ready to drink, all the different segments. So there's a lot more choice out there, and convenience is a big thing. So there's no silver bullet, or there's no one thing that you can point to. It's a combination of factors. Then you've got geographic bias that's built into all of this. There's a lot, and then you have just the basic, what's going on in the world. You're dealing with a lot of shit.
There's a lot of shit, and I also think that Gen Z, everyone's dollars are tighter, obviously, these days, and I think that they're, when they're trying to do all the typical things as far as, hopefully buy their first house, but then the news on that, rent's so high, things like that, where it's like, they might be getting more seltzers or THC drinks because it's a little more affordable. Also, is what I think as well. My
thought too was, well, I'm kind of putting myself back when I was that age, and like another thing is, like Steve mentioned, cost. Like, I drank a lot. No, I didn't drink a lot, but I got drunk when I was in high school. I started like 17, 18 when I was legal. But thank you, Steve. But like, to me, like if I were to look at you go in any liquor store, it's overwhelming. Number one. Number two is you're used to drinking like drinks like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam, like just the basic that everyone just like they do shots of. And I think at least from my thinking is like, all I did back then was doing shots and not understanding that there's like a whole new world of just the Jack Daniels, get drunk, do shots. And when you get older, it was hard for me to like look at, like in my 20s, like, I don't know, it seemed like beer was the thing. And then, until I got older, I'm 55 now, within like probably 5 or 6 years ago, I started getting into it. And with the help of these guys, they helped me with learning a lot more about whiskey and cigars. And I'm like, damn, if I'd have known this shit earlier, this would have been more like,
if you didn't know this earlier, you wouldn't own a home.
Probably.
Living in a box.
But I've always like, after I turned 21, I tried to like stay away from the hard shit because I usually get too sick or hungover. But now like I drink this and I'm looking for that with the nose and the palate and the finish and like trying to find different flavors and then trying to blend them like every other week. We're trying to blend them with a cigar. And it's just like a whole new world for me to be able to like appreciate it, you know? And back when, you know, and I think younger kids are just so fast paced, or even now, like Gen Z are just, they're trying to do everything they can to keep up with the Joneses. And then if you don't have any knowledge of what good bourbon is or what to look for, it could get easily overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all those factors, and also, you know, what the interest level is.
Yeah.
You know, again, the diversity of choice is a consuming factor.
I think there's a higher, there's bourbon and whiskey have been a lot more in the forefront over the, I don't know, 20 years before, because there was kind of a lull in it for a while, right? And then up until a point it started to boom. And I think that's where, you know, people were like, oh, hey, well, so now that's booming, it may be more something they'd be interested in doing too. It's my opinion. Sorry.
I think it's appreciation of things like what you guys are doing here. You're doing things from a creative standpoint. You're doing things from a flavor standpoint, which a lot of times I feel is lost a lot to a lot of people. Is that obviously bourbon, especially at these proofs that you're doing. Like, you know, my wife tastes like gasoline to her. It's just not her thing,
Same.
right? But there's a difference, and the cigar is much the same thing. It's, you get into, you know, sometimes you'll go like there was a period recently that it was like there were a lot of people, and we would joke that Nate was kind of like that proof whore. They just want the cast strength, right? They want that barrel strength. That's it. But they didn't really. It's not as much about the flavor. They want that. I mean, not just you.
No,
a lot of people.
I love my proof for it.
But the fact that you guys are able to do things that cast strength for flavor is, I think, some of the more impressive things. That it's almost like, to Sean's point, it's like you guys are out there at your events and you're educating people what you guys are doing. And I think that's something that to the general public is not seen anymore because of all the restrictions on obviously advertising and such, you know, as far as that goes. Even on YouTube where we broadcast, I mean, you can't monetize anymore when it involves alcohol. I mean, there's been a movement from the powers that be, if you will, Big Brother, if you will, that has kind of stifled it a little bit as far as it's still out there. You know, it's out there, but, you know, as far as people that review it and stuff like that, they've had to go a different way of monetizing their efforts of getting the word out there. You know what I mean? We joked about it a little bit, talked about it, like we've been doing this for a long time, but it's never been a big money maker for us. We haven't put the effort into it. And at the same time, you know, 2021, 2022, it was a big stifling movement from the social media and from YouTube and everything else, Facebook. You know, it was pushed down as like, you know, you're not going to monetize on this. If someone watches one of your videos and they watch all the way to the end, it's kicking you to something else, another topic, as opposed to before it would kick you to another whiskey topic or, you know, tobacco. It's another cigar topic. So I think there's a lot of, like you say, you keep saying there's a lot of factors. It's just curious to talk to someone that, you know, does what you do now for a living with a family business of what you guys see from your chair.
Yeah. You know, look, I mentioned consumer generated content. When the same time when you guys started, yeah, it was the word influencer didn't exist. It was blogger, right? I mean, everybody was a blogger, right? And that's morphed into many different things. So you know, some of that is through self-regulation, some of it's government regulation, which has changed the shape of the environment of social media communication. You know, we're not on TikTok because their policy is you can't be a brand and advertise on TikTok or even publish our videos to TikTok. Right. But you know, the workaround is somewhat an influencer, and sometimes you see things on there, but it's the landscape has really changed. You know, and monetizing is different. The competitions are different. The people who are the core influencers are different. You know, they've had to evolve. I mean, we even see it through the competitions, and you know, like if you look at what wins high awards, and I mean, I didn't even talk about that. The cigar blend just won best blended whiskey at Ascot. So I mean, we do,
that's awesome.
We do win a lot of awards, but when you look at how it's changed over the last few years, there's a difference in flavor profile that people like, and it's moved away a little bit from sort of the core straight bourbon whiskey into something a little bit different, which is, the trend for a while has been some level of finish or something like that. Some secondary contribution is the way to look at it, I guess. So you're seeing that, the flavor changes, it changes, and and so we just have to watch and adapt.
Yeah. What's next for you guys going forward? I know you guys are always working on so many different projects, right?
Yeah, I had made a couple notes. So we also just released it. I think it's going to be in the market next week. Decade 2, which is it's Canadian whiskey that's 20 to 30 years old, and there's whiskey from every year from 20 to 30 years, and they're blended in there. We did a release last year. It's great. It's a hazmat, and we really focus on making the whiskey that we make drink lower than the proof it actually is, so that we do that just by the way we blend it. So that's one that's coming out, Decade 2. It's really tasty. I mentioned we do have another French oak coming in, I think September. We have a small release of a 20 or 18-year-old whiskey with an apricot finish, which is I really like that one. That's a good one.
You what?
He really likes that one.
Oh yeah.
I do like that one. I love apricot. That one, and we have a New Year blend that is going to be out in September, October probably. No, it's got to be October. I like that one, and then we have 2 others that are we're still playing with. I'm not sure where we're going to end up, but there's probably a couple other small releases out there.
Do you guys get? I mean, it seems you get like extra creative with the New Year's.
With New Year?
Yeah, with the New Year bottle, I feel like every year it's like extra creative.
Yeah, that's when we really try to make it as diverse as possible. I mean it's fairly limited, so we can pull from all kinds of different things that we have, and it's a chance to use whiskeys that we use either in smaller or we're saving or something. So that's always really fun. It's somewhere around 8 to 10 different 8 or 10 different whiskeys. I'm sorry, 8 or 10 different. No, it won't be that many states this year. A large number of states with lots of different mash bills.
Yeah.
From lots of different producers.
Yeah, like I said, I forget which year it was, but I think it was like 18 different barrels or something in there. It was just insane.
Yeah.
Like 8 states, and it was ridiculous.
That's a fun one to produce.
All right. Well, before we we said about an hour with you here. So what are your guys' thoughts on batch 38?
On the nose, I get like this toasted peanut on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And what was interesting is when I first took a sip, it tasted like there was a lot more maltiness on the front of the palate.
Yeah.
And then reading the mash bill that there's only 4%.
Yeah.
Like just in that front and mid palate, tastes like there's more nuttiness, more of that maltiness. But then on the finish is where all that rye kicks in for me.
Yeah.
Definitely on the finish, the rye really comes through.
Are you getting any kind of? I feel like I'm getting some kind of like a dark fruit or a dark.
Oh,
yeah. And almost like chocolate or some dark something on the palate, but it's good. I mean, and even you get the rye on the finish, but it's not overbearing either. It's very. I mean, maybe the first sip you feel a little bit of a hug, but after that, it's
after you work on it, like you start getting a little bit of that mint or eucalyptus that we sometimes get from rye.
That's what it is. Yep.
Over time, we start getting a little bit more of that on the finish.
So one of the things, just to that point, is that when we're developing the blends, we really focus on where you're experiencing it, whether it's front, mid palate, finish, and what the nose is, and sort of the mouthfeel is also really important to us. So we're actually thinking through all those things as we're blending to make sure that we hit all those things. And so you're getting a lot of that. What you're experiencing is you're getting different the whiskey is hitting your palate at different points,
and it's accentuated in different ways. So
Yeah,
interesting you got that.
I love a whiskey or bourbon that the flavor stays with you. It just lingers after you drink. So there's a really good flavor there too.
Thanks.
Well, we won't keep you. We appreciate. We can go for a long time. I don't want to keep you.
That's my bedtime.
Yeah,
That's a little nightcap for you then.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, but we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome.
Thank
you guys
you
have
for
been real great with us. And Aaron, who you guys work with, is always on the ball. Always impressive that you guys work with Aaron. So we appreciate his efforts as well for you guys. Yeah, I mean, all in all, it's just great to have you guys part of the show. We're always excited to try different stuff. Hopefully, it's just continuing to grow for you guys. As far as that goes, you're in all 50 states, right?
Yeah, I think Hawaii. I think
We're this is the only one that's really sort of like it's
Sure.
tough.
but for the most part, we are.
Yeah.
We're around.
I'm always,
Anyway,
I'm always giving you love when I'm talking to people about bourbon. I was like, try these
Thank
guys.
you. We appreciate that. We're around. I appreciate you having us on, and we're
Yeah.
around.
Anytime you need us, just give us a call, and you need to fill some.
Some space. We're happy to.
Love that.
And if I get down in your area, you're in Louisville, I'll come
Yep.
and visit.
Yeah, just give us some notice.
Yeah.
Show up at your doorstep.
I'm showing up. Hey,
he
I
just
know,
loves to show up unannounced.
I know Joe. Somebody let me in.
Joe, thank you very much. And cheers to you. Thank you for sharing your
Thank
great
you so
products
much,
with us. And
Have a great night,
look
guys.
forward to exciting. Yeah, absolutely.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you, brother.
I love it when they're on the show.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
great, man. I mean, you learn a lot from them too.
You really do.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to think. I was trying to get it in, but someone doesn't have peripheral to see me over here.
Sorry.
I was wondering because he started this because his palate and how much he enjoys blending, and then we have someone like Tripp, who's got the coolest title probably in the industry is Chief Blending Officer, and I didn't realize
He
it was,
had a longer title. If I recall.
CBO.
well, I think now on the website it's officially just Chief Blending Officer.
Oh,
I think that's what you said when we had him on recently.
Yeah.
So Joe said that there's himself, Tripp, and then one other gentleman. And I was just kind of curious, like when it's just that small of a group, like how much are you butting heads on
That's a
what you're actually tasting and what you're trying to develop for the next bottle?
dude. You hit me all the time. Why don't you just hit me next time?
I
You fucking burn cigars on me.
I think
Because I was told I need to stop being an asshole. So
that's
stop burning people. That's a start.
I've never intentionally burned someone.
Intentionally. I think with a small group like that, yeah, I mean, obviously there's got to be a chain of command. There's also, hopefully for a successful team, there's got to be, respect, right? So
Yeah.
they're making, I don't want to say so many like they're flooding it, but I mean, they could even, take turns in a sense, you know what I mean? Batch 38, it's like, all right, Tripp, you're taking the lead on this one. You know what I mean? Or we have an idea for something. It's like, okay, well, or they could be working on 38, 39 and other products all the same. I mean, it sounds like they are. So,
Well, and he did say nothing gets bottled without all three of them
Correct,
giving
yeah.
the thumbs up.
yeah,
Yeah, but no, that's a good point.
it's
Like,
kind of like Hector and Jack, last week. It's the same kind of thing where it's like, it's not everyone's going to love it. Like the best thing, but it's, as long as it's approved. And obviously Eric kind of seems to have, Eric Espinosa, who wasn't on the show last week, but he's been on the show before. And, he's got more or less ultimate say, and I would imagine Joe does too. To a point,
but
right?
at the same time, you're trusting your team to be able to, come
Yeah.
up with things that are going to sell.
Well, you got to look at the longevity of the company and how long you've been doing it. So they probably have a pretty good dynamic within each other, and being able to say, really speak up and say, well, yeah, maybe it's missing this, or I may like it a little less than he likes it, but overall, they'll probably start to think of the people who buy from them and see would they like it too.
You can't do, especially with this one, right? The batches, you're doing something different every time.
Yeah.
You don't come up with the same.
Yeah,
product.
say, hey, let's do this one, and then 2 hours from now we'll do another one with your.
This is intentionally
ideas.
marketed, and they have the transparency of what's in the bottle there.
Yeah. Well, and he had said they taste on they taste back on this, several of the most recent iterations of the batch, because I've seen liquor store shelves that have had 3 different batches of the batch from Barrell on the shelf. You sit there and you got 35, 36, and 37 all on the shelf. So it's like, well, I hope
good from a variety standpoint, not great from their standpoint, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Just while we are still smoking these, because I know we've been talking for a little while, I do want to say the My Father La Lealtad is the newest release from My Father Cigars. This is the second one. Did we do the blue on the show? Do you remember, Nate?
I don't think we've done the blue.
So the blue was the first one coming out of the Honduran factory, which is a new
Yep.
thing for My Father Cigars.
This is next.
This is the next one, right? And there's other products that have been coming out of the Honduran factory, but it's still kind of new as far as what's coming out of there. This is a Ecuadorian Habano Rosado, or I'm sorry, Habano Oscuro Rosado is what they're calling this. So it's basically a darker Rosado. So they say it's got that reddish hue, right?
Yeah, yes, it does. I was thinking
a
that.
darker version of that. That's an Ecuadorian wrapper. Honduran Nicaraguan for the binder, double binder, and then also Honduran Nicaraguan in the filler as well. So this is, again, something new. It follows the My Father Blue. What do you guys think?
So before lighting it up, like just smelling the foot, or after I cut the head, just smelling the tobacco itself, it smelled a little bit like I was in a stable or a
Barnyard.
Yeah.
it smelled a little bit of that hay note to it.
Probably why I sneezed.
Not necessarily the ammonia of being in a barn, or a stable, but it's got some of that hay note to there on the nose, and then on the palate, it's got kind of a saltiness to it.
Yeah.
A little bit of saltiness. This is stronger than the My Father Blue too.
Really?
Right.
Yeah. My Father Blue, I feel like is billed as a medium. I'm going to go mild to medium on that one. This is definitely medium, maybe medium plus as you get through it.
I might need to smoke another blue soon then.
So the first batch of the blue that we got in did have a lighter wrapper. The newest ones are a little bit darker, or vice versa. I'd have to look at the shelf. I forget what it did, but it did change a bit as far as the shipments, it seemed. So that could also affect it a little bit. Not as much the body, but a little bit of the flavor. But these Lealtads, which I still have a problem saying correctly, if I'm saying it even right, means loyalty. We joke about the fact that the My Father Blue was such a success, not only for people that knew about the new factory and them growing tobacco in Honduras, but it was such a great marketing scheme for them with the blue that they picked for the artwork and the ribbon and the box and everything like that, and calling it the blue is very easy for people to do. Where My Father is not known for that.
Yeah.
They're known for using Spanish terms, and people struggle. And sometimes they'll even say for the
they didn't call it the
green.
Azul.
They didn't call it the Azul. This one, I mean, you put red on it, and it's funny that people just call it the red already.
Really?
Opulencia, they've said green sometimes because people don't remember how to say those.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think with a lot of the My Father stuff, people recognize it because they do different colored foot bands, and so they're like, "Hey, you have that My Father with the orange,
right?"
Like, yep, got that one.
Le Bijou.
Yeah. Yep. You got the one with the green, or somehow they remember the judge.
English
without
without
calling it the brown one.
Well, no, but it's interesting that they've done it with a few of their blends of the My Father line itself,
but this is almost the same, the same burgundy or maroon as like the Las Antillas.
Correct, which people still can't say.
The Antilles.
Just saying. But what are you looking at?
Pronounced La Lealtad.
La Lealtad. Well, still butcher that. But I like this one quite a bit. I agree with you guys on your tasting notes. I mean, I've enjoyed a handful of these so far. We've not smoked a lot of them just because the production is still catching up, I think, because it was a follow-up. The My Father Blue is tough to find right now. Tinder Box Easton has a healthy supply because we lucked out on when Brian ordered and then ordered again.
Yeah.
So,
because I remember the first time we got those in, we got one box, and I think it was maybe that Petite Robusto. Could have been the Toro. And it was like, hey, we got one box.
Immediately on back order.
Yeah, we got one box in. Staff, keep your hands off.
That's right. I remember asking somebody there, and they're like, "I haven't smoked yet. I can't."
Yeah.
Well, now it's like you talk to the rep and everything, and some other shops, and we have. I'm not going to say how many boxes of 3 different sizes, but I mean they're like, Jesus, no one has them because they can't even get them because they're on back order already. So, yeah, there's been great success out of the Honduran factory. I think this is something that will be interesting to see what comes out of that Honduran factory, because My Father Cigars makes cigars for a lot of different companies as well that you see on the shelves. Some that are a little bit more blatant, like Tatuaje. I think Pete Johnson's got a new one coming out of there from the Honduran factory. And then, you've got...
For Ashton, you got San Cristobal, La Roma. Those are all coming out of My Father.
Yeah, I mean, Nestor Miranda does stuff. I mean, Oz Family of Cigars does.
Yeah.
Crown Heads does. Sister company there. They utilize them. So there's a lot of stuff coming out. So now they've got this, they're broadening their scope. I mean, Nicaragua is kind of their go-to.
Well, and this has that. So whenever I smoke a cigar that's primarily Honduran, I get that kind of Honduran woodiness. So like if I smoke something from Aroa, if it's one of the Aroas, like the 20-year Colorado, 20-year Maduro, his Corojo, something like that, like that woodiness, that cedariness that's on that cigar just screams Honduran tobacco to me. And this has that as well from that Honduran tobacco. That's the primary driving note I get with most Honduran tobacco.
See, I got that more from the blue.
Okay. Maybe Friday I'll smoke the blue.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong on that. I'm saying I think I got more because that was, I think, purely Honduran filler binder, and then it had a Connecticut shade wrapper. They called it something else. Maybe it was Connecticut Rosado.
Shade. I was like, I don't know. That's pretty dark. Shade. That's a dark fucking shade.
Look at the new batch. It's not as dark.
I've sold the new batch. I know it's not light.
But yeah, I do like this cigar, and I think this has gone fairly well with the featured bourbon as well. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's do the rating here. Whiskey. This is the Barrell Bourbon. This is the batch 038 or just 38. And the cigar is going to be say it, My Father what? La
Lealtad.
Lealtad.
La Lealtad. I don't know. Some stop.
No, don't roll your... I mean, you can't.
Lealtad.
And then the pairing. So, Nate, let's start with you.
On the whiskey, solid bottle. I'm going to give it an 8. I don't necessarily get, and I know Joe said this is kind of what they were trying to avoid. I don't get a whole lot of the oak from some of those older age-stated whiskeys bourbons that are in this bottle. But then again, with having that high of a corn overall mash bill, I don't get a whole lot of sweetness to this.
I did my first sip.
First sip, yeah, but
kind of went away.
Yeah. I mean, now it's mostly that rye and that spice and that mintiness that sits around on the finish. That kind of seems to be the star of the show. That's kind of the highlight on the palate. That everything else just goes away as soon as that finish hits. Like I completely forget everything else about what this whiskey's like, and it's just that finish that sits on the palate. And it's a really good whiskey. It's definitely a solid bottle. But yeah, and it is a little different than the previous. Do you still have the 37 from a month or two ago?
There's a little bit left.
Okay. I was curious if you still had some of that and doing that side by side. But no, I mean, I've never had a bad product from Barrell.
I would agree with that completely.
Yeah.
When we had when we had Tripp on earlier this year, he had mentioned that it was the Tale of Two Islands finished bourbon.
Yeah.
Which was a delisted product in Ohio. And then 2 days later, I drove an hour southeast of Columbus just to go to the only liquor store near me that still had it in stock, because it was on sale from $85 to $52, and I bought 2.
Yeah, and they're all limited batches, right?
Yeah, they are.
In everything they do.
Yeah.
Other than the core ones that we talked about, like Vantage and Seagrass
and then
Dovetail.
If you can get your hands on any of their gray labels, the gray label bourbon or the Seagrass gray label, I know they're pricey because the gray label bourbon's 150, Seagrass gray label's 200. I know that's pricey, but if it's within your means and budget, it's definitely worth getting a bottle just to try it, because much older expressions, I think currently the Seagrass gray label's a 19-year age statement on it.
Wow.
So
What is it?
200. So yes, it's pricey.
How about the cigar?
Cigar, I'm
rating time.
I'm gonna give the cigar 7.75.
Okay.
It's good. It's very easy smoke. I don't think it's it's definitely not a strong cigar. It's got good flavor. I don't think there's a lot going on to it. That saltiness and woodiness is kind of what really hangs around for me. There's really not much complexity to this cigar. It's pretty straightforward start to finish. It's a really good smoke. It's a very consistent smoke. Like because I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to be smoking multiple cigars in a day, this one's probably going to be one of those middle of the day cigars. This is not the first thing I smoke, but that's also not going to be the last. There's room to still go after this. Definitely a slower burn. There was a period of time where like I let it sit for a bit because I wanted to make sure I had enough to still do the review on. I didn't want to be on cigar.
Right.
I didn't want to be on cigar number 2 while we're reviewing cigar number 1.
It's all right.
But there was a period of time where I'd let this thing sit for probably a good 5 minutes, and I came back to it, and it was still puffing. So obviously, top-notch construction coming out of My Father. Like even though it's the new factory, the construction quality has not changed whatsoever. It is absolutely a fantastic. Fantastically constructed cigar.
How about the pairing?
The pairing, I'm actually gonna do the pairing is greater than
the 2 parts.
The 2 parts. I'm gonna give the pairing an 8.5.
Ooh.
Because I think, and I've talked about this with another product before a bunch of times, because of that saltiness that this cigar has. It kind of sets your palate up going back to the whiskey.
I can see that.
So you start getting some of those original flavors off the glass again, and if you're someone that got more of that sweeter influence on the initial couple sips of the whiskey that then you lost it, going to the cigar kind of allowed your palate to come back and taste some of those sweeter notes that you were missing.
Nice. Like Sean, how about you? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
No, it's fine. It's the way the wind's blowing.
Sorry.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
I do this. No.
Go ahead. You can double team me with it. Anyway.
What?
So never mind. I'm gonna stop right there.
Trying to wake you up, man.
I'm just gonna stop right there. Jesus.
There it is.
What the fuck are we talking about?
There he's back. Rating time. Whiskey, cigar and pairing.
All right. The bourbon, I'll 8.25. It's good. I do like the flavors like on the front end and the back end. It's kind of like that rye, and it's not like harsh or anything. It's just Nate kind of hit the nail on the head on the finish. It does linger, but it's on the backside. I wish some of the on the palate side would have kind of stayed there, but it's mostly the front side or backside. 8.25 on that. The cigar, right off the rip, it was a little, for me, always on the foot, it's a little stronger than it is when you eventually start smoking a little more. And so at first, like, oh my God, like the retrohale about sneezed. But as we kept going with both, it kind of mellowed out a little bit. I think taking some sips of the bourbon, it actually kind of dulled that strong retrohale, and it allowed me to be able to kind of taste the get the flavors from the retrohale a little more. God, what did I say? Did I even give us? It's been a long day.
8.25. It's okay.
Cigar is I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
8.25 and an 8.
Yep. And then the pairing, I agree with Nate. It's probably 8.5 on that. It's not like it's like you do one and then the other one. They just, for some reason, to me, just kind of pair well. I think that the salty thing that he was talking about definitely opens up the palate to allow you to take another sip and be like, oh, there it is. But if you wait and keep sipping and sipping, I can see where some of the flavors may go away a little bit. So that I think they complement themselves. That's why I'm giving 8.5. So
Nice.
It's not one of those like, oh my God, I taste this, I'm going to do it this way. It's not that. Just more of a complementary.
Mhm.
It's nothing flavor wise. It's more just they go hand in hand together. Really
They're
well.
not necessarily fighting and competing.
Right.
But they stand up flavor wise.
Yeah.
Because we've had those where they've gone, you go one way, it's great. You go the other way, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Either way. It's,
This one, either way, it's fine.
Steven.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Mhm.
The Barrell 38, the Barrell Bourbon Batch 38. If you guys notice, real quick note, did you see the color scheme here?
Yep.
Red, white, and blue.
They
Yeah.
did this
Is this
was
250?
Their, yep, this was
Okay.
their 250 batch.
Merc.
Yeah. So they don't have it on there though, right? They don't
Nope.
say anything.
I don't, yeah.
So it's a subtle thing, but I mean, that's something that they change it up a little bit a lot of times, with their different labels to keep them consistent as far as the design. But this one does have, like, it's got basically 2 shades of blue with some stars and then red lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then white barrel there. So it was a subtle thing that he never touched on, and I didn't really bring it up, but interesting to see how that on there.
I like that color scheme where it's not like out and in your face. It's more like,
Classic.
yeah, it's just very like, this is who we are. This is how we're rocking it.
Right.
And it looks great.
Yeah. So for me, the bottle, I'm an 8.5. I like it. Sometimes with the barrel bourbon batches, when we stick with the bottle, it's not that it's not enjoyable to have several glasses of, but these batches a lot of times for me and some of their special projects, it's like you have one, maybe 2, and then you kind of that's enough. Not only because of the proof of it, but it's just like it's a lot. It's a lot going on there.
Yep.
So 8.5 on that. I really enjoy it. Again, I enjoy the different expressions they do. It would be fun. Nate, you mentioned batch 37. It would be so fun to visit those guys. Just to do different tastings back to back. You know what I mean? Like do an actual flight with these guys, that would be cool.
That would be really neat.
That'd be really cool. Also for, if you had your own bar or restaurant and you did a flight with Barrell Bourbon and you did 35, 36, 37, 38, there's your flight.
That's a great
that'd be pretty cool.
Or if you're doing like whatever the most recent batch is, but then also doing the cores and the foundation.
Yeah.
Like,
or you do that too.
Like you have those 5 right there as your flight.
Sure.
Or cut out foundation and there's
your core series, your current batch on there. The cigar, I'm also an 8.5. I like this. I was interested to try this cigar. It is not a Ray Cheshire puts it, I've never met anyone who didn't like a My Father cigar. Have you?
So
certain ones.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
But there have been very few in their portfolio over the years that I was just like, oof. Yeah. This one is a solid smoke. This one is not, it doesn't contain for me the wow factor that some cigars may have. But this is one that I could, if I'm like in the humidor and I'm like thinking like, what am I going to smoke today? And am I kind of walking up and down the humidor? Or if I'm, at home and I have the selection in my humidor. This is going to sound bad, but it's like, I don't know what I want to smoke, so I'll smoke this because I know it's a solid smoke. It's like this is kind of a negative positive that I'm doing there. You know what I mean?
It's a neutral cigar.
It's better than neutral, but yes, essentially that's what I'm getting at. Is that like it's good? It's really good in my opinion. It's a great like you said, construction, everything. I know I'm going to get a good smoking experience, but it's like it's right there, kind of middle of the road.
It's not blowing you away.
8.5 because there's a lot of positive to it, but there's no wow factor for me.
Yeah.
The pairing, I'm an 8. I think it's solid. To your guys' point, it's nothing. Again, there's no wow factor there. Right. I actually think that perhaps nothing to take away from My Father cigar here, but the Midnight Twist might actually go better with this bottle, just off of recollection here. So we'll see what happens there here as we get into part 2. But overall, I think it's I loved having Joe on.
Yeah, it's very knowledgeable.
I mean, it's just so cool to have that. And it's cool that he says something like that for a show our size, where it's just like, yeah, if you guys ever have a guest, need to fill a guest spot, give us a call. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. It's great.
And I think we all have a good dynamic with them in terms of like, it always flows when they're on with us, so it's nice to have that.
Yeah. And they enjoy it. They're passionate about it. So that's obviously very true.
Use the restroom.
You can use the restroom. We'll kind of flow into it.
Sure.
And I'll wait to introduce the part 2 here. Let's try to do the remind me later here. Don't hit restart. This is remind me later. Are your eyes better than mine?
Yes.
Remind me later. Yeah.
Yep. Sure. No, not that one. No.
Not that one. Don't worry, I don't have any space on this computer anyways. If you guys want to Venmo at Bourbon and BS. External hard drive is needed at this point. But yeah, very cool to have him on. Ray, it's good to see you. It was great seeing Austin watching. I know we did this back to back. We confused people on what weeks we're going to be on, what we're not. But this was something that we had to kind of shift gears with Hector and Jack last week. So
yeah,
that was really great. Jack called me. If you have Joe back on. Ray, we had Joe, and at first his sound was good, then it was bad, and then it was good for a long time, and then somehow
it kept fluctuating in and out.
Whatever he was doing with his phone, like I don't know why that affected, unless he somehow had his laptop or whatever he was streaming on was using like the iPhone mic or something.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, so I don't know, because sometimes if he's got like a iPad or if he's using a MacBook, you can have the microphone be your iPhone. So
yeah,
we're thinking that's what it was. Ray, by the time you tuned in though, it was definitely kind of muffled. I just didn't want to keep interrupting him, and so you could understand him, but it was a little bit frustrating at times. And every time he'd like move,
get a little closer,
it would get like great. I'm like, oh great,
just stay like this.
Oh,
stand right here and don't move.
Just so you guys, before we go on part 2. You can't read it on our screen. Hopefully you can read it what you're watching. So much information on these sheets here from Barrell Bourbon. So check out their website for that as well. Part 2, we can do some. I kind of listened to what you guys were kicking around today, and kind of tried to keep it. It's been not to get into it, but how do I describe this here? Let's see. Come on now. That's an online event. I did it differently today. That's cool. Whatever. See if it says the description here. This is very frustrating. Basically, a lot of times we get into the kind of deep dive topics on here. But there's sometimes I feel like you need to have a little bit lighter topics, right? So that's kind of where we're going tonight.
Get my thing.
I got your suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. And we can do that. I want to start with this. If you can see the screen there, what is something you missed that doesn't exist anymore?
Oh, that's a good one.
So a little bit of a nostalgia thing as we're midway through the summer. I've had a lot. You guys have had a lot going on in your life. I'll keep it a little lighter. My car was broken into. So
we've all had we all had our,
but your car still exists
lately.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all been going through.
No, but I mean, it's something where it's like, we talk about a lot of this stuff all the time. So I just kind of wanted to keep it light for you guys, especially. Just there's always ups and downs. We've been doing a lot of like home improvements around, or small stuff around our house, and it's nothing goes as it's planned. Literally nothing.
Started having a new roof put on today.
You had a new roof put on. I had a new roof put on, and while our cars were parked in the street, Kristen's car was rooted through. I parked in the driveway the first part of July, and July 2nd, my car. The bill now is, mind you, up to $6,000 for repair for that break-in.
Yep.
So I've offered to get a ghillie suit and lay in your yard with a fucking paintball gun with pepper spray in it.
I got a paintball gun.
Does the paintball gun take live bullets or just paintballs?
Just paintballs.
But if it pepper sprays in them, they'll never come back.
You can get those off Amazon.
Bear mace. I would like to install, like across the street, they have a sprinkler system, and I don't know how much bear mace you'd have to put in the system. It's like when the alarm goes off like that. Now I'd have to make sure it doesn't hit people on the sidewalk if they're walking their dogs, but just all of a sudden the sprinklers come off and just
connect it to your car.
Bear mace.
Yeah. And have all the sprinkler heads facing along the curb.
Get a motion activated turret that fires pepper balls
Yeah.
just right on the roof of your house, and
Or on the roof of your car.
Ray Cheshire says, because he loves my Cadillacs, says times must be hard if they're breaking into Cadillacs.
oh,
They're not. Never mind. They're not specifically going for Cadillacs. They don't seem to be very.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're looking for open doors. Well, now they're not. They're just breaking them.
Yep.
And what is something you miss that doesn't exist anymore? Summertime. It's obviously, this is for me. It's a nostalgia thing, but we just, not necessarily something I miss, but something from back in the day I didn't even realize. I forgot it was a thing. So Kristen and I joined Medallion, right? And we went to the pool there, and I didn't know what was going on at it was like, say, 1:45 p.m. and lifeguards are blowing their whistle and everyone's getting out of the pool. I'm like, what's going on? Adult Swim.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Back in the day, I hated that.
Yes,
you could tell all these kids.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Like they were like kind of like on the edge, you know what I mean? Waiting to jump back in for 15 minutes. And like that's when we like walked in to the pool and had a beer.
That was the worst too when
wow.
when in my pool they
No, I didn't know. I don't know if that was a thing.
Oh, it was a thing back in the
when
pool, right?
Because I remember during the summer I used to spend a lot of time at my grandparents, and every now and then we'd go to the Groveport pool.
Yeah.
I don't remember there being an adult only.
Blocked it out, man.
Or even when we would go
You
to
just went to the snacks. Then.
when we would go to Wyandotte Lake when that was a thing.
It's just a rest period, they call it usually, right?
Wyandotte Lake is now Zumbizi Bay, but I don't remember there being an adult.
They might have called it a rest period,
Yeah.
but it was the Adult Swim. Adults got in there at that point.
Oh,
It's the same thing.
Well,
Adult Swim is rest periods kind of goes hand in hand.
see, I remember Adult Swim as Cartoon Network.
that came later. Go ahead,
What I
Tom.
hated was when they would get out the volleyball net rest period. And I'm like, motherfucker, they're not going to play for 15 minutes. Turn in like a half hour, 45 minutes. You're like, bro, I'll just like, fuck you.
Ray says, did someone take a dump in the pool? I don't think so. I think it was a
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
It was Baby Ruth.
What's something you guys miss that doesn't exist anymore? Doesn't have to be just from your childhood, but cheap gas prices, sure.
I get a lot of these nostalgia videos on like reels and shit, and like just seeing a lot of the old games, video games. Like I had the original Atari with the joystick and playing Space Invaders, and and thinking that was the coolest thing in the world. And like look at the shit now, and that, and
I can't play video games now.
I think the other thing is just being a kid, having just the day was open to do whatever the hell you wanted.
You didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah. Now I haven't even gone to a pool this year. I probably won't. And I love going to the pool. I just either don't have time or I'm exhausted. So I'm not trying to bring it down. I'm just saying that's something that I wish I could.
When you do have time, we'll just have to like jack you up with like a few 5-hour energies or something.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Let me know when you guys go to the pool just to swim. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
It'd be a good relaxing thing.
Yeah, it'd be a Sunday. So
yeah.
The asylum pool party with all the little mini pools.
No, it's different than that. It's a different type of country club. You brought up video games, man. It's those things that you think about. The convenience is now like, even like music on your phone.
Yep.
I don't know, like, because, I was kind of like looking into this stuff, and, it's like you bring up like, oh, I miss, Atari, and I miss this. Like you can still play that. It was just how new it was. So it's like,
well, nowadays
new technology is all AI. I feel like right now where we're living today. So it's like, it's going to move so fast, but it did used to move so fast, but it was more like aimed towards consumers of enjoying it. And now I feel as though it's like, it's all just input. You know what I mean? It's just being like fed to you. It's like, you don't really have as much, not that you had control what video games they're going to put out or what music they were putting out, but I mean, it was just like you chose. It was like more of a process, right?
Yeah, to go to the store,
cassettes than CDs,
right? You had to go to a store to buy an album or maybe a single to hear the song that you really liked. You had to make an effort to go out and do it.
Yeah,
you couldn't just flip a phone and go, "Oh, I love this song." Boop. It's like.
Yeah,
but it was the whole part of that.
You have the ability to just purchase individual songs instead of having to purchase the whole freaking album.
But it's great though. But now that I'm on like Spotify, I have too much. Pandora, you pay a very small amount so that we can listen with no commercials at the shop. And then I have like Apple Music, which I rarely use anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Spotify. But then Spotify, I feel like it's like I put on like DJ or I put on like mix, and it's like the same shit over and over
I
again.
know.
So I have to like actually
Yes.
pick something else. And then like DJ is like, hey, here's country, here's like Frank Sinatra, like here's, you know, whatever. And it's like, here's some new stuff. And it's like EDM. I'm like, in what world do you think that I want to listen to these 5 songs?
Yeah.
Maybe one's a little catchy, but you know, it's like, it's not my thing.
because they're playing songs from your entire life.
I think the one thing I hate too is I sometimes use Spotify to help me sleep. Like there's like sleep music. So then I get the eye comes on. You like this real new one? It's brown
brown noise.
Brown noise. I'm like,
you're like in the shower listening to
like,
it, and you're just like,
come on, man.
gotta wake up here, man.
God damn it.
You're driving, you're like, oh God, where am I? But yeah, like the music stuff is a big thing for me. Those experiences that you had with that, but it's when you say like, what do you miss that doesn't exist? I miss it, but like I also, it's just like kind of, it is a nostalgia thing.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's
Well, and I think
I would not want to get rid of Spotify completely.
yeah.
The other thing I noticed too, like they'll show videos of people in the mall from back in the day. That was always so much fun to do.
Arcades, like old school arcades.
God, yes.
That was fun.
Yeah. And it's
Drop your kid off with a roll of quarters and here's your babysitter for the next couple hours.
I mean, it's just
so fast.
Yeah.
It's like a casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Arcades are a casino for kids.
yes, they are. They really are.
I mean, I didn't really think about that.
I broke the system one day. We were doing it was like a putt golf had a special for like 3 hours. You paid $5 for a hot dog and unlimited golf or putt and then all the video games. So you just to go somebody, they give you 4 coins. So I would just get 4, wait a few minutes, get 4, wait a few minutes. So by the time I was done within a couple weeks, I had probably 300 coins, and they finally were like, what game are you going to play? And we'll put the coins in for you.
It's like getting kicked out on all you can eat.
Yeah.
Well, I think when it comes to video games, it's not necessarily it doesn't exist, but I think what we're seeing with people like in their 30s and 40s nowadays, it's a nostalgia night. So for us, like for our age, or for you and me, Steve, at least our age bracket, it's got Sean's 10 years older than us.
What was the Model T like?
But it's the LAN parties.
Mm-hmm.
So
LAN parties, they still do that.
So
no one knows what that is.
So when I was in college, that's when Halo and Halo 2 came out. And so literally you just take the Ethernet cord, you plug it in to the room, and you can play with anybody on campus. And it was great. I played with a bunch of guys at the Firehouse in Hilliard because they all played video games, and I brought my console and we all played against each other. And so now you have a group of 30, 40-year-old guys that'll get together and they set up 4 TVs and they're all connected to one network and they're playing the same game, but now they're against each other or they're doing teams. But it kind of brings you back to that old day when you were playing online, as a teenager or your early 20s. Contra. Now that's the nostalgia.
Contra. Remember Contra?
I remember Contra. Like,
what are you shaking your head at?
I still have a Nintendo. I haven't. I haven't. I do have an OG Nintendo.
No, I was saying, no, I didn't either. I was all like split screen. You have it like you got the big TV, the 27-inch.
Yeah.
Like, let's go 4 screens.
My big highlight was the Mario Brothers. I could like do the whole thing without dying as a small Mario and completely run it to the end.
Impressive, man.
But it takes a lot of time. I mean, now games like you can be like fucking 8 hours, 12 hours into a game, and it's just so. And then you have to like get a small degree on how to operate the controls and run this.
Because we're old.
Yeah. Sorry,
we got too complicated. Ray Cheshire. If I'm honest, there isn't anything that I really miss, but that may be a personality trait. I don't tend to dwell on stuff or remember things fondly. We know. I do miss hanging out at the shop, I suppose. There's nothing here with that feeling of true brotherhood. See, that's the thing. I mean, Ray, you are that, obviously you are a life forward with, you do have fond memories that I know of, family and friends and places, but that is the truth. You're for those that don't know Ray, which a lot of people don't, but those that listen a lot, he listens and chimes in a lot, which we appreciate. Always appreciate seeing him on. And from across the world, it's amazing, the technology right there, right? You know, this didn't exist when you think back, right? But you know, he was a member, if you will, of the community at Tinder Box at Easton. That's how I got to know him, and that is something. You know, it's still there, but you know, I miss those days too. You know, I miss the cigar community that got me into this, and I'm going back to like 2008, so goddamn near almost 20 years ago, and you know, coming up to Easton, which still work there now, but it was different back then. You know, it's like you went up on like a Thursday night, you didn't know who was going to be there. Maybe you talked to a couple of people, but it's like you just show up, and it's like, how many tables are you pulling together at Fidel on the patio?
Yeah.
How many people are there? And then a couple more people are like, yeah, let's pull up another table. You know what I mean? And everyone was there way too late, you know, on a school night. And you had a great time. But I agree with you, Ray. I miss that as well.
Yeah. Ray, I feel like I need to go back to every episode that you've commented and make a collage of all your comments. That would be one hell of a fucking book.
Something that I miss, that it exists, it doesn't exist, I guess, because it's that simplicity, you know, and this is an easy one, but before, like a lot of social media and how people have become so divided. I know there's always been a division, but I mean, I'd say I miss going to like community stuff. And I was fortunate enough to more or less grow up in where I live now, actually. And obviously the world's changed in a lot of different ways, but I miss, you know, and this is not, but like, you know, like recently, like the Westerville fireworks. It was like we would go to where they used to be launched, and like we would just go to, you know, the church that my family went to. My mom still goes there, but we go to that parking lot, and you'd look over we sit in the front lawn, and you look over the parking lot where there was like a Lazarus and everything. And so you wish that they'd turn off the lights, and some years they would in the parking lot, but you'd still see it, and you drive home, and that was the night. Everyone had a good time. Everyone didn't think about anything, obviously, what happened this year at the Westville fireworks or happens elsewhere. It's just like,
something happened.
Yeah, something happened.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, I didn't go to any fireworks.
Yeah, there was a shooting.
Oh shit! Fatalities?
No.
Shocker there.
Luckily, they're in Delaware County, so they'll be prosecuted.
Oh, there you go.
So northern.
Well, and I remember,
it's right off on the other side of county line. Like they're on the wrong side of county line road. They don't realize what that road means.
Yeah. I remember
you should have been on the south side there, guys.
I remember one of the places. So one of my dad's really good friends worked at a company that was south of downtown, literally just north of 104. You guys know where that's at. And they had a big. You had to go in through a gate, but they had a big back lot where the semis would come through. There was a grassy area, and people that worked at that plant, they made cabinetry, and people that worked there would bring themselves and friends and family and would hang out there for Red, White, and Boom. And we would set off all of our own fireworks and shit. And you could see Red, White, and Boom downtown. You really couldn't hear it, but everybody had their radios turned on, so you could hear all the music and everything that was going on with it.
Surprised you couldn't hear it.
But like, well, it's a few miles away.
Probably heard like a few seconds later.
Yeah. But like as the years went on, like the bushes and trees were getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So it started to become a little bit harder to see some of that stuff. And that was kind of one of those moments where you're like, man, remember when we used to come here? We could see everything clear. Now we got to cut down a couple of trees in order to see some shit.
I'll say that about this neighborhood, other than, you know, it's happening everywhere. And I'm not talking about the car break-ins, but one of the things I really like about this neighborhood when we moved in, I may have mentioned it before on the show, but, you know, 4th of July weekend, Independence Day was another weekend where we don't pay very big dues. There's not an official HOA, right? So it's very, very small amount. It's like $50 a year, basically. And there's a couple of block parties and some other things that they do that some of the money goes towards that. But one of the things they do for Independence Day weekend or whenever it falls, they put out little flags along the street, like the little guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of the members of this neighborhood that will go along, and for that weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend,
Sure.
they'll put, like in my front, there's like maybe like 4, you know, it's like doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
And on 4th of July, and I watched it because I go to work on Saturday, but I watched it on the Ring camera, and they had a handful. They get like a little kids parade around this loop.
Oh.
And
awesome,
this
dude.
year, someone's got a convertible that kind of led it. You know what I mean? Like an old convertible. And last year, they were able to line up one of the fire trucks to come in.
Cool.
So it's like some of those things when what is something you miss that doesn't exist anymore? That shit. the neighborhoods coming together to do things like block parties. I know in where you live, Sean, and where I used to live for 15 years, when my cross street neighbor, my good friend Matt and Abby moved in, he joined. He at the time he was like 30, and he wanted to join the HOA board, and he was trying to like do a block party on our street, and stuff like that. And it was just like, to do that anymore, it's just to get buy-in from people, to get involved in the community that they live in. I feel like a lot of times people are so much more involved in, like, I guess, communities that they'll never be a part of versus the ones they are a part of. Not saying that you don't want to outreach, but it's just like one of those things where it's like, I remember you tried to do the block party, and then like trick or treat night, it was like,
it's dead,
kind of dismal.
Yeah, it's always
dead. And in this neighborhood, it wasn't crazy, but it was like they have a Halloweeny roast at a neighbor's house. So like, before trick or treat starts, there's a neighbor on this court right here that they host this Halloweeny roast where some of the $50 a year goes to, I think, buying like hot dogs, but then they host it. And so we got to meet a few of the neighbors, doing that. And it's just, there's a lot of, in this neighborhood, there's a lot of, I don't say the majority, but there's some original where people have been here for 20, 30 years, don't even have kids anymore. You know what I mean? And there's the ones that are newer families. And just to see that sense of community is just super nice. Ray, no, those aren't the flags, actually.
I was going to say something, but
I called it, not just 4th of July, it was Independence Day, if you're familiar with that. British flags.
I'm being nice by not commenting on that.
The one thing that I just realized is the biggest thing I miss is my kid growing up.
Sure.
I'll never see my child be a little munchkin anymore and run to me when they're scared or sit on my lap or cuddle with me. Or
there'll be a day again that Molly will want to, and maybe not sit on your lap, but we'll lean into you.
Yeah. And I really, last few months, especially with them graduating this year, it's really been hitting me hard, man. I get choked up a lot for a long time just because, the age they're at now, they don't want to, I try to hug them and they think I'm trying to pour battery acid on them, and they fight, and it's like just a small hug and they don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
And so,
that's a kid thing. It's a teenage thing.
But
the rebellion.
But what I'm saying is, though, I know anybody has kids, especially if they're youngsters, they can annoy the shit out of you, and cherish what you can do with them because it goes quick. And it's kind of hard for me to, and they're thinking about moving out soon. And
good.
It's like, fuck.
Not good for you, but good for you.
We'll have, our house back. I just feel like all the hell we went through just to try to have a kid.
But you want that, right?
I want them to grow, of course. No, I'm not telling them to live their house forever. It's
this is something in this country so much is that, no, stay.
No, I don't.
You don't want them to be 30 and living in your basement.
I've let them live their lives the way they've been since we brought them home, and I will never stop them from doing what they want to do. It's just hard for me to. All right, don't make me cry, Ray. I'm already emotional as it is right now.
It's gonna make you cry. Oh, Sean Wilkes and Molly will always be your munchkin. Just wait, it comes back around.
I hope so.
His munchkin just turned 30, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a nice post on Facebook about that.
Yeah. I think the whole thing of me, what I've been dealing with is just my emotions are kind of raw, and So I usually get a little emotional when things like this come up, but it's I don't know, man. It's tough.
It's good to be emotional because it means it's important, though.
Yeah, I love them to death, and I just
shit, yeah.
But like I said, I've talked about the whole silver lining with the brain tumor and what we went through to get in, but all of a sudden I feel like it's going to go away again. Or like it's going to be back to when they leave. There's not the day-to-day interaction anymore, and I think that's what's going to be tough. But I'm hoping that I'm trying to stay positive, like Ray. Like there's going to be a point where there's going to be a turn, a shifting of maybe coming back and being a little more receptive, and maybe absence will make the heart grow fonder. I don't know, but yeah, it's tough, man.
I think showing support. I mean, again, I'm not going to give you parental advice because I'm not a parent by any means.
No, it's okay.
But it's the perspective. I think that you almost have to force yourself, not you, but I'm saying everyone. You have to force yourself to embrace those memories and try to make the best you can of the new memories. It's like what is something that you miss that doesn't exist? Not to trivialize that, but it's like. I miss flip phones just because it was awesome, right? Remember that? Like how cool it was? Like when you
clamshell, baby.
Just boom. Especially if you're like angry at someone, you're like, click, but it was like it was emotion. It wasn't like, let me.
No, that makes
let me find the button on the screen to like,
no.
It wasn't the same thing. It's like
that makes me miss the corded one where you and you bing.
Yeah, you get the ring off.
Oh, yeah, because they could hear that.
You enjoy the new the best you can, right?
No, I get it. I'm just everyone has ebbs and flows with life, and it seems like everything's going to happen at once. So this is just kind of one of those moments where I have to let it out, and I'll feel better. It's just what I'm dealing with right now.
A couple things I thought of even before you talked about that. One was I miss the one time a year my dad and I would go hunting together down in Kentucky. Sometimes his brother would come down, but like memories when I was younger, going down there, pulling into it was either like especially when my great uncle Darvin was still alive. Like we would get up, my dad and I would get up at 5:30 in the morning and go out into the woods, pick our spots to go hunting. And after a few hours, we walk back down the mountain. As soon as we walk into the house with air quotes, as soon as we walk into the house, there's Darvin. He's
what a name.
The five of the five. Darvin, like
not like anything.
Yeah. So you had.
Is it?
So my grandfather was Raymond.
Darwin I've heard of.
All right. Yeah, not Darwin, Darvin. All right. My grandfather was Raymond. One of his brothers was Arnold.
Those are
which old school. Okay. No, those are both fine. But then you
Darvin's not fine. I'm just like I've never heard it.
Then you had Darvin and the last one to pass away, which was 2 years ago, was Okie.
That wasn't a nickname.
Is he a bourbon guy?
No, that was his legit name. Okie.
O-A-K-E-Y.
Yes. Yeah.
Classic name.
He was 95.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
There were a couple that went young, but there were a couple that definitely got their
borrowed time,
their days in. But no, we would get back to the house, and there's my great uncle Darvin. He's sitting behind the bar in the kitchen, and he's wearing jeans, no shirt.
Classic Darvin.
Smoking the cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as we walk in the house, and he's sipping on his cup of coffee because he's just made a pot of coffee, and he's like, "You boys ready to eat?" Like, yeah. And pound of sausage, pound of bacon,
How long did Darvin live?
95.
That was Okie.
Oh, okay.
No, Darvin 61.
Okay. That makes sense.
Not trying to make that sounds tough.
No, it makes sense.
That sucks. Smoking a cigarette, drinking a pot of coffee,
bacon and
pound of sausage and bacon.
Oh, well, that was
his best life, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Fucking wasn't unhappy day in his life.
Oh yeah. At his funeral, his son, my dad, my
Keeping the
uncle,
money.
like they all got together and
Right.
actually had a shot of moonshine because they're
Nice.
like, yeah, this is what dad would want. But no, the going down there, just that whole weekend trip, going down there with my dad, hunting, the food, camping out, like that was something. One of the ones that sounds crazy. So on Wednesday nights, my mom and I would go to church. And then after Wednesday night service was choir practice, and my mom was the choir director. So we were usually there a long time. And every Wednesday, when my dad got off from UPS, he would come to the church, pick me up. We'd go to Taco Bell and then take it back to my mom's house, eat Taco Bell, and then he and I would play Nintendo until my mom came home.
Wow. You had a routine.
Yes, every Wednesday.
You hit the bathroom before Nintendo or after Nintendo or during?
After.
But it would start probably farts were probably involved.
You saw that thing about like with the lettuce, like Taco Bell. After all these years of eating at Taco Bell, now it's the lettuce problem.
Yeah, lettuce has never been the problem with
like,
Taco
don't go to Taco Bell. The lettuce will kill you.
If I get no lettuce, it's still gonna kill me.
Taco Bell has never lied about what they are. They have never claimed to be
Yeah,
good for you.
There was one about embarrassing things you ever had.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this today, and I thought I'd share this one. And you may or may not.
I will. I wanted to just throw out there real quick. I gotta pull this up and I'll put it on the comments here. I kind of miss, and it's when things are bad for you, like Taco Bell, right? It's being a product of the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
The problems of our diets. Thank you, Nate.
Oh my God, that's instant.
Was Jesus, this is real classy here. All the bad snacks that we ate, you remember that?
Oh,
like, not even fast food. I'm talking like
the little juicy, the squirt, Gushers. Yeah,
that's so funny. I was gonna say Gushers, and you guys went straight to Gushers.
Remember Frieden, and we had the cube gum, and then there was like juice in the middle, like minty juice.
Yeah.
Ice cubes. That was a
the
brain of chewing
different cookies, man.
That's probably what I brain.
Like soft batch cookies. Remember soft batch?
Oh, my
cookies?
cousin. He stored them.
Well, the fact that they stayed like soft, fresh baked cookies, but could be in your cabinet for a long time.
Months.
Like as an adult now, like knowing that if like someone like you brought them over, like these are great, like they're store bought, but they taste like fresh baked cookies. I'm like, those are poison. Like there's no way that can be good for you because like if you had fresh baked cookies, it's like you have to throw them out.
Yeah.
And they're like, but there's egg in it. That's why they're soft. You're like, no.
Yeah.
There's the chemicals you can't pronounce on the second half of that sheet there.
Soft. Yeah. God, if someone bring one now,
They're
I'd be like, what was the manufacture date? If somebody were to bring one over to me.
Yeah.
Now.
Probably still soft.
So,
that's a good name. Which one was it? The
something about embarrassing.
Funniest thing that happened in public? No.
Yes, maybe.
What's the weirdest compliment?
No, the funniest thing happened in public.
Let me see if I can copy this here. But yeah, the translate.
Just want to copy.
But yeah, like so for me, that was the big thing. Some of the things that were bad for you.
But you were young, had a high metabolism, didn't give a shit.
Well, but it was just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, we were absolutely.
I used to eat hot dogs straight out of the fridge.
Well, not even hot.
No,
it's in the name.
I literally just pulled them out of the package from the refrigerator and just ate them cold.
You could,
because
it's a choice.
Someone told. All right, so we all know those wives' tales, right? Well, one back then when I was a kid was if you ate raw hot dogs, it would prevent you from getting nosebleeds.
Who said that to you? That is not an old wives' tale.
Maybe it was an old mom's. Maybe it was an old Nate's mom's tale.
I have a different story from the hot dogs.
I don't want to know.
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
From college?
No, it was in middle school, maybe high school. That things would get broken off.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't know. Before you break something off. John says, what's the funniest thing that's happened to you in public? What's your biggest? I immediately regretted that moment.
I've got one. I've got an answer for each of one.
Okay.
The first one was this is more like on a bus, but it was like the whole school. Excuse me. I went to an all boys Catholic school, and we rode the bus with girls from the school called CSG, an all girls school. And we would usually just kind of in the mornings, we wouldn't do much. I do remember like when our favorite part of the bus ride is we would go down this hill and hit the railroad tracks, and we wouldn't stop. And we'd tell him to speed up. So by the time he'd hit this thing, our heads would hit the ceiling.
That's terrible.
It was awesome. I loved it. We'd all get in the back and wait for it because it would kind of flip it out, like catapult us up in the air. So much fun.
Do you remember your bus driver's name?
No, but I just remember the launch.
Was he or she?
There's a dude.
Yep.
We're like,
You're
like,
prison?
go faster. And he's like, okay. We probably went 50 over it. Anyway, that's different. So I was on the bus. I was almost home, or almost at
take the wheel, right?
I was almost at school. All of a sudden, the bus hits the brake. It was on Broad Street, right by St. Charles. Hits the brakes. We're like, what's going on? All of a sudden, the door opens, and I hear a very familiar voice. Is Sean Wilkinson on this bus?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh no.
I wish it was Jesus, Steve. I really do. It was my mother.
What'd you do?
I forgot my lunch. I was in the back. I always had a brown sack lunch with the Star Wars thermos cooler.
Nice. Class.
Nice.
But
So you
the
had
way
to
it's the
carry
way she
thermos
handled
roll?
it. The way she handled it.
She
okay?
stopped the bus.
No, she cut it off and hit the brakes.
That's impressive. First of all, you should be proud of that.
Yeah. Okay, so then
She wanted you to eat.
she gets
God
on the
forbid
bus,
she's a
and
terrible
I'm in the
woman.
back. I'm all the way in the back
Cool
because
kids in the back.
I just got done hitting a 3-foot
How is that
elevation
up
off
front?
She goes, honey, you forgot your lunch. And I'm like, I'm just like, no. And I was walking to her.
You're like, does anyone know this lady?
Is that she was walking to me. She's like, I got your lunch packed. You got the Star Wars cooler with your milk, and I got you got your PB&J with your crust cut off. She was giving me
That's a little over the line.
Yeah.
So now everyone knew what you were having for
But
lunch.
picture this. You ever seen the movie Poltergeist when the lady looks down the hall and it elongates? It gets really long.
So
like-
the whole bus.
it just fucking went
The short
50
bus.
yards
Short bus
long.
we were on got long.
and it was like slow motion. And as I'm walking, I feel like I was walking the gauntlet because everyone's like, oh. Oh my God.
Walk.
Yeah.
It's like a Fast and the Furious.
And she
10
kept
second
trying
mile.
to talk to me like, okay, don't forget to
Quarter.
make sure you drink enough water. I love you. I'm like, Mom, you really need to go now.
How old were
Please,
you?
for the love of God. I was like a freshman in high school.
Oh.
I was already low man on the totem pole. After that day, I was below the
Why?
low man on the totem
Why
pole.
the crust?
I just didn't like crust back then.
Was it white bread, wheat bread? What were we doing? It was definitely
It was
Wonder
white.
Bread. Yeah.
But, and then
Again, one of those things that was terrible for you, but God, it's great.
by the time I drank my milk, it was warm. I just said, fuck it, I get water. But
You didn't say fuck it.
it was one of those things where I was like, this is like not happening right now. It can't, and it did. And for a good week, everyone's in the bus is like, your mom gonna come back and stop the bus? You forget your lunch, that kind of shit. And
Oh yeah.
so it's, now I wouldn't give a shit, but as a freshman in high school, I was devastated.
As a 55-year-old riding a bus and your mom brings you your lunch, I mean, yeah.
There's a lot of things that could go bad with that.
Well, and let's be honest,
Why are you on the-
with your build, you could probably beat the shit out of most 55-year-olds around here.
yeah. So
Freshman, Sean?
I was probably 120 pounds soaking wet. I was a skinny little man
No.
with my feathered back hair and trying to grow a mullet 80s. It was just all
Were you
messed.
going for the Rambo look?
It
or
was all bad. Everything was bad.
the fair
Now you
prophet?
look back at it, and you're like, God, she was a saint.
Yeah, she was. And I look back and I understand that now, but it's just like,
You could have made fun of another kid at some point that did forget their lunch.
no, I would hug them and say it's going to be okay.
Oh, you should have no. It's like prison.
It's the rite of
You gotta take
passage.
Out, oh,
I mean, freshmen always got harassed. Mom just added to it.
What,
So,
did Molly ever take the bus or walk to school?
oh yeah, but it was
you had your opportunity then to
I-
stop the bus and
no, but I
you
would
don't
tell
wanna pay
them.
that forward.
At first, I would say, as the years progressed, at the beginning, like, "Mom, I love you. Have a good day. I love you too, Dad." And we out the window, and then teens hit, and I'm like, "Love you, Em. Shut up. Don't talk to me." And so from then on, that's the way it's been. But yeah, it was fun. And the public thing is one of those things I said I didn't mean to say it. I coached soccer and we were at a tournament, and there was a family where the parents are a little heavy set, but I never judged that or anything. But I had a habit of saying to my parents, hey, big guy, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And she walks in and just, I went, hey, big girl. And I'm like, oh, God. In front of a bar, like we're out the bar at the hotel. I'm like, sorry, guy. No, sorry.
How's it hanging, fellas?
Mrs. So-and-so. And I feel like after that,
Oh,
she looked at me differently. I'm like, you have every right to be up.
you just turn and walk
And then I don't
away.
want to go back and apologize because it makes it even weirder.
No.
So it just, no, every time I'd see her, it's like, oh my God, I can't talk to her right now. I'm so embarrassed. But yeah, that was a really bad slip. So those are my two big ones. But the bus one really kind of is that unique, just devastating. Looking back, I can laugh now, but man, when I was in it, I remember fucking where we were. I remember where we exactly stopped on the road and on Broad Street, like what building, what houses were in front of us. I can give you the addresses and shit.
Looking back though, I mean, it's like, don't you wish like you knew a little bit more? Like you could have like been more like macho, be like, yeah, mom's the best, man. You forgot your lunch, you'd be starving, idiot. You know what I mean? Just like turn around on them.
Oh,
not
I've
to
had
you.
so
I'm just
many
saying,
fucking-
like, yeah. And your moms do that. I got my lunch today.
I never thought of it. I was so,
You'd starve,
Yeah.
and you, I don't know what you'd do.
and my thermos, it's going to be a collector's item one day. So suck it, like that. and so I was
Tell me you don't like Luke Skywalker.
my,
It
it
was like a Darth Vader.
had
one, was
3PO and R2D2. It was even fucking
that
worse.
was not as cool.
It
Yeah.
was blue.
Yeah.
But
You're a droid
my
guy.
goal was to get back in the back
It was
seat.
better
and-
than C3PO.
I said C3PO and R2 were on them. It's just, it got worse. But I remember my whole goal was to go back to the back seat and hide under it until we got to school and let everybody get off the bus first.
Yeah, Forrest Gump moment. Like the
Yeah.
seat's taken.
Yeah.
I was just sitting here.
You got to
What are you talking
stand.
about?
Matter of fact, why don't you sit up front and stand?
Yeah, Chet the bus driver. Like, I'm gonna take this over the
Yeah.
hill again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go up front and sit next to the teacher.
No more hill jump. No more cross. I can't even talk to me.
Railroad crossings.
Yeah.
There we go.
No more leaping for you. You're up front.
Ramp.
Oh, okay, guys. Please follow that.
I don't.
So
Can't.
I'll go. Well, it's not going to compare, but funniest thing in public. So my senior year, for homecoming of football for the pep rally, the senior football players and then a female senior, you would pair up and they would put you in old cheerleaders outfits and you had to go in front of the entire school and do a cheer routine.
Wait, you did?
Yep. Oh yeah, I had the
How'd
two.
you do
People were very impressed
by your splits?
in the air. Yes. I can't do it on the ground, but
What do
I
they
could.
call that one where you jump and your legs go out.
Yeah. We're jumping, both legs go straight out and toe touch. Yep. I was.
You want us to show us?
No.
I mean, we can
I would severely
move
hurt.
the table.
Camera back.
I would.
you know,
I would.
That'll be a viral moment. I'll just post that.
I'll have some Ben Gay waiting for you.
Oh, I would pull so many things. I would need surgery. But yeah, I did like a back handspring into
Holy shit,
into a
Figure
jumping
it as a moment to show off.
double toe touch.
I think you knew the name of it.
I wish there were video phones back then.
And I was wearing a 2-piece uniform.
Little midriff action.
And yeah,
Little belly
exactly.
button out there. That's great.
Yeah, our starting center was in a 1-piece and we couldn't even zip it all the way up.
Oh, serious moose knuckle, I bet.
Come on.
It's gonna happen, dude. It's
And I was paired up actually with our class president. So I was captain of the football team paired with our class president.
Oh man, quite a pair.
Yeah.
there's got to be a VHS tape sitting somewhere.
No, there's not.
Ray Cheshire said I'd pay to see that.
Hey, we could raise some money for the podcast. Do a whole routine.
Just summary. Ray Cheshire said that he would pay to see two high school boys dressed in
no,
outfits.
no, it was me and a girl.
Oh,
I think you said the center. Or was he?
No,
in a different
he
one?
was in a different group.
oh, class president.
You were in pairs. I was with the class president, which was a female. So it
Was
was
she a cheerleader?
so no, she wasn't.
Oh,
So it was a football player and then a female senior non-cheerleader.
so you out cheered her, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I was.
Well, you got
She
the
didn't
skill.
play any sports, and I played 3. So yes, I did.
Good man.
4 if you
I'm proud
include
of
cheerleading.
Huh?
4 if you include cheerleading.
I said we
Hey,
could get-
my sister was the captain of the cheerleading squad.
All right,
We'll
that's
give you
where you
s-
got the moves, I'm sure.
That's right.
we'll give
That
you.
and having a trampoline in the backyard helps.
Oh man, I can see it now.
Yeah,
Doing the varsity all day long. I got to practice my varsity. I think it's what's called, right? When you kick your legs out.
I think you're right.
You know what? I'll give you 6 months
No.
to train, and then 6 months from now,
New Year's episode.
we're gonna.
Bourbon BS talent show.
Yes, yes.
Ready? Okay.
It's hard. It's hard.
Ready? Okay, let's do this, sister. Right, I got you.
I never talked like that.
Well, you should have. But
Uh,
it made you more experience.
immediately regretted. So 8th grade field trip. So every year the 8th grade class got to go on a field trip to DC.
Yeah.
And yeah, all right. And so during one of the days in the middle of the trip, we were allowed to walk around. We went to a mall, and I went to one of the stores inside the mall, and I bought a laser pointer. I bought a laser pointer. It had like 4 different attachment caps that made different designs
Why?
I got one with
on
a
the wall
dick.
because I thought laser pointers were cool back in the
I don't
90s.
think I heard that right.
And so we're in the mall. I put this thing together and I'm shining the laser pointer on the wall. And then all of a sudden, a mall security guard comes up to me, followed by a police officer.
Oh yeah, they don't fuck around.
And I'm like, what? Let's go. And like I said, this is in the 90s. And yeah, they saw a red laser light on the wall and they thought it was a
Gun?
shooter.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a serious mall cop.
Yeah. And so
They do that shit to airplanes.
so sure enough,
Yeah, this is a mall in the 90s.
yeah, so sure enough, the security guard and police officer escorted me out to our giant coach bus where the chaperones are
Mhm.
and had to explain to the chaperones. And thankfully, I did not get kicked off the trip. Otherwise, my parents would have had to pay for a flight to
shit.
fly me
I mean,
back from DC to Columbus.
How old were you?
This was 8th grade.
Oh, dude, you.
they could have just
Lighten
taken
up.
the laser
Well,
pointer.
Well,
Lighten
they
up.
did. Well, the chaperones confiscated the laser pointer. But the rule was going in the trip, like if you do anything that gets you kicked off of this,
Like
your
snipe someone.
your parents that would be a different issue. Your parents are responsible for your transportation back home.
Sure. No, that's not
So
good.
thankfully they did not kick me off the trip because I was always a model student and they were like, all right, we'll let this one slide. But I definitely got in trouble for that. The middle school principal was
Jesus Christ.
the one who held on to the laser pointer. Come back around. So a few years later, I'm in high school and I don't remember where I was, but I ran into the middle school principal. She was married to my stepmother's ex-husband.
Okay.
So is there a laser pointer in the rest of this?
So she's like, she goes, this has been 3 years. I still have your laser pointer in my desk.
Damn.
And I was like, so can I come by the middle school at some point and grab that? She goes, yeah, just come by whenever. I'm like, sweet, I'll see you next week.
Wow. And you're off to do crazier shit.
So
with it.
next week, while as a high school student, I get out of school before the middle school does. I drive over to the middle school, go into the office. I was like, hey, Miss Taylor, can I get my laser pointer back that you've
Wow.
had for 3 years?
So did you use it in high school?
Do you still have it?
No, that never left the house after that.
Yeah. There was a thing
What?
there was one thing I did that probably embarrassed my dad more than me. In I want to say 6th, 7th grade, I was big into breakdancing.
Sure. Who wasn't?
And
Breaking.
breaking, ready to be cheap.
Break too.
Electric Boogaloo. I stood in line out the fucking door at the movie theater, Easton 6,
With
get
your
to-
cardboard or
to get the tickets for the movie. But I would take my cardboard, or I upgraded to linoleum eventually. And we live on a corner.
You guys rich or something?
No, I took the old linoleum from my grandma who didn't want it anymore. So it was left over, but I would put it on like our house. When you come up, you go down the road and it splits into a Y, and our house is right in the middle. So every car that comes in or out of the neighborhood, you see that corner. So I took out my little boom box. I got my tracksuit on, and I would break dance on that corner. And I thought I was
again. If
and I
there's
thought
only
I
a
was-
VHS of this,
Yeah, and I thought I was being cool. My dad was like, "How much is it going to take for you not to do that anymore?"
you're embarrassing your mouth. You're embarrassing us.
Oh yeah, he was devastated. He's like, "Dude, come on, man, you're killing me." So
You're killing me, Smalls.
I was proud of it.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, brother?
I got nothing, man. I can't. I don't know. I really don't know. Funniest thing that's happened to me in public. I don't know. Stuff every day. I don't know. I work retail, man.
I remember playing Little League basketball. I called a timeout at a point in the game where I thought it was a good time to call a timeout.
Sure.
And
Chris Tucker style.
we actually had multiple timeouts left. But I called the timeout. We go back to the bench, and the coach is like, "Wait, who called the timeout?" And I was like, "I did. So that way we can set up the play." He goes, "No, you call it after the next shot. Get back out there." So we immediately all go back out there. Everyone's looking at me going, "Why the hell did you call a timeout?" And I'm like,
wow.
"I thought it was a good time."
That's the worst. Yeah, I fucked up in a game once and tripped one of my. I barely brushed the guy. We're up by a point with like 5 seconds, and the guy kind of ran into me. But it looked like I brushed him, and so he got free throws. Got one, then we lost in overtime. So that was fun. That was.
I don't know these answers, man. I really don't. I mean,
Well, Nate and I kind of made up for it.
you guys had these on deck, man.
No, I had to think of mine while Sean was talking.
I really, I don't know, man. I'm sorry to be boring here, but what's your biggest? I immediately regret that moment. I probably got a lot of those. I just don't think about them.
Oh, I got one for you.
Oh, go for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would have to say your wedding.
Yeah. Well,
that was a good one.
Oh,
that's for the
not during the
second
wedding,
one.
but a couple days prior.
It wasn't the funniest thing that's happened to me in public.
I laughed a little. Sorry.
And Kirsten says next topic. I don't know if that was related to what you just said or if that was just because she was tired of us talking.
Okay. All right. What's another one?
Immediately regretted that. No, it wasn't immediate. It was actually the next morning when I figured out what happened.
Yeah.
And
that was a very unique situation.
We are happily married.
Yeah.
Today.
That was a good tester right out the gate, man.
Yes. Steve calls me after Jess and I landed in the DR going, "Hey, just to let you know, don't make it obvious."
First time I see him, he's got fucking shades on. I'm like, "Hi, what's up, bro?"
What's your biggest? I immediately regretted that moment is letting you guys talk about it.
Okay. Oh, you got something there. Congratulations.
Hey, we let him there. There we go. It was a little more current than we were thinking, but all right.
Yeah. No, like I said, the original topic really, I didn't have any other like questions or anything else. You said what's the weirdest compliment you ever received?
I usually give them. I don't take them. I usually say something stupid.
No,
I get a lot of weird compliments about my voice.
Yep.
It's a very regular occurrence.
Yep.
Very regular occurrence anymore.
So
that happens all the time. It's mostly from dudes.
Yeah, it's funny. Like sometimes you'll see their reaction, like, "Oh, that's your voice."
Yeah.
And it's easy to like. If I have a friend going to the shop, I said, "If there's a bald guy has a deep voice, you're good. He's my friend. Tell him you know me.
He's not going to hurt you."
Yeah.
So I remember shortly after Jess and I started dating. Shortly after Jess and I started dating, her grandfather passed away, and we had to drive up to Findlay and Fremont for the funeral and stuff like that. And the next day, go to the funeral and everything. This is my first time meeting any of her family. All right.
Oh, tell me you farted.
And no. And her grandmother comes up to me. So this is after the funeral. We're now doing all the potluck, right? The eating and everything afterwards. And this is the first time her family's met me. And her grandmother comes up to me. Now, this is a woman who just put her husband into the ground. And she's meeting me for the first time. And I introduced myself, and Jess is like, "Yes, this is Nate. We just started dating a few months ago." And she goes, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. You have very nice teeth."
It's nice.
And I'm like, "Ma'am, like, you just
Really?
put your husband in the ground. You're commenting on me on my teeth. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, you say that. Thank you for saying that.
She's like, yeah, very straight teeth. And I was like, well, I hope so. My parents paid a lot for it.
What else you got, man?
All right, here you go. Fun lightning round.
Oh yeah.
One thing you miss.
Under $20.
Under $20.
In childhood.
No, just
Oh,
under
just
20.
example.
Under $20. It's not under $20 from your childhood, about the 90s, about work, about dating. No,
Oh, Jesus.
all right. So, one thing you miss under $20.
The Evil Knievel motorcycle set where you would put them on this thing and you'd crank it real fast, and then it would shoot across the room. I love that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this field goal game where you had two big models and you hit their head and the foot kicked out, and you could kick a football in a field goal. That was cool. That's
Okay.
mine too. I'll have
Okay.
more later.
I think back in the day, you used to be able to get like a really nice super soaker or
Yeah, super soakers, man.
an RC. Well, yeah, I mean, back then you had a super soaker with like 2,000 PSI.
Mm-hmm.
Power washer.
Or yeah, exactly.
Right.
Or you can get a pretty good RC car back then. You know, from Toys
Yeah,
R Us.
$20 though is a stretch though. Not a real good.
But you
RC
could
car.
get one.
You get an RC car, yeah.
Cheap one.
Yeah. But I mean, that's all you really want. If you're sitting there just driving it in your driveway or right in front of the house or on the sidewalk, like that's all you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Super soaker. I remember that. Freshman year in college, we did a water gun fight in the dorms, and of course, some kid had a super soaker like with a backpack. That had,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
And then
what I remember was
you've got the kid that shows up with that, and then you got the kid that has the little water pistol.
I just remember this poor guy in the dorm that wasn't really participating in the and
you were your number one target.
and I I was there, so I was a part of it, but I wasn't a part of this. And someone like did it was like a police, like, you know, knocking on the door type thing, you know, like kind of like search warrant type. It was like they were like this, knocked on the door from the side,
Like they're gonna shoot through the door with a water gun.
and this guy with a fucking water cannon was like kind of like on his knees, and as soon as he came out, like to be like
No.
whatever, like to look who it was. I mean, this thing blasted. I still remember, like right in the side of the head. Jesus.
They cuff 'em?
No, it wasn't a full blown arrest. It was just a squirt gun fight, but yeah, it was pretty bad. Under $20, a lot of things, man.
Same.
One thing you miss under $20, I don't know, tank of gas.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Chuck
Half a tank of
Taylor's.
gas.
I don't know, make those
A
anymore.
pair of
$50.
jeans.
Oh yeah, under
I
20.
mean, shit, a pair of jeans under $20.
So,
Get
yeah,
those.
we don't want
Ross,
those though.
Ross for less or thrift store.
Yeah, the thrift store might be your best bet.
Good bottle of whiskey.
Well, you have that later on. Yeah.
Said from your childhood, we've talked about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing you miss about the 90s.
For me, growing up as a kid in the 90s, I miss when so many of my friends lived in the same neighborhood.
That's
And
why they're your friends, though, right?
well, it was ironically the reason we were friends is because our parents were all friends because they all went to school together and we all lived in the same neighborhood. We could go through the school and go, hey, there's my dad, there's your dad, and my mom and your mom. Like we used to sit there and go through the hallway and pick out everyone's parents. But no, I mean, the ability to just get on my bike, ride my bike around the block, and just knock on their door. Hey,
Yeah.
is Jacob home? And be like, yeah, he's down in the basement. Come on in. And you go in, and Jacob's down there on the Sega. Like, hey, let's play. Let's do something. And like, or you start, you either start playing video games or you start going out into the street and throwing ball, or you're like, hey, let's get on our bikes and go down the ball fields and hit that one ramp next to the ditch and do that. Hey, let's.
You ever see a dead body?
There's that.
What
Or,
on the quarry?
Used to have a bunch of scrap lumber in our garage, and so we would build ramps for our bike on the sidewalk in front of my house.
Yeah.
And so we would all sit there and take turns, like, how high can we get the front of this ramp to go
Sure.
before it like completely topples over and one of us just goes end over end.
Yeah. Trying to injure your friends. It's nice. Me first, the Bulls, Chicago Bulls. About the
Oh, yeah. There you go.
100%. Michael Jordan and the rest of them.
Sure. And then going to a concert. You'd have to
Late
take
90s for me because, yeah, I was, a little younger than you. So, like, high school was 94 to 98 for me, So, yeah, I mean, concerts for sure.
I mean, now you got to go see anybody. You got to take out a loan just to get in the nosebleeds.
Sure.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Again, what do you miss under
Well,
$20?
Yeah.
Well, that reminds. So this would be relevant to Steve. He saw Garth Brooks is doing an arena tour, a stadium tour.
I did not.
So he's doing some arena tours. Every ticket is the same price.
Nice.
How'd you get away with that?
He's rich.
Yeah. So I think every single ticket, no matter
Sponsors.
no matter if you're front row or all the way in the nosebleeds, every ticket I think it's like $150.
But usually,
It's not
Ticketmaster.
cheap. I was
It's
thinking
not.
I was thinking
Yeah.
20
$20.
bucks. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking $20.
It's not necessarily cheap, but I mean,
But compared to
that's-
most
that's
tickets, it is,
reasonable.
yeah, every ticket's the same price. There's no price gouging. There's no, hey, we're gonna buy. You don't have a company buying a ticket and then reselling it for $400, $500.
So you go to his website and get them.
Every ticket's the exact same price.
Smart.
Yeah, like let's see, right from his childhood, leaving home at around 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning and being gone all day on your bike with your friends.
Yep.
Without care in the world. Yeah.
Yep.
I had
Dust till dawn, baby.
Ooh.
had to be home within 5 minutes of the street lights coming on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So about one thing you miss about work. Let's skip that one. About dating. I don't really miss anything about dating at this point.
I just remember.
Not as you get older, yes.
Oh
But-
my God.
But compared to now, like this is when I was dating, it was well before all these fucking apps and shit.
Yep.
You had to actually go out and make an effort.
Yes. You're
Yeah.
gosh.
Hey man,
I like that.
I met my wife in a bar like the old fashioned way.
Yes.
Yeah, but you met her in person, not on a
I know.
Yeah.
fucking app.
But yeah, there was the organicness of meeting a person. Yeah.
Nothing.
No, there's nothing. Don't miss the whole dating thing and like trying to go out somewhere, putting yourself out there and introducing yourself and having to go through that awkward get to know you. And
Kristen's and my first date, we went to Pins.
Okay.
And we had known each other, and honestly, we started before we exchanged numbers. We were communicating through Instagram, which her name was on there.
Sure. So it works.
When we went to get the pins, duck pin bowling, I forgot how to spell her name. I had to ask her. Is it E-N or I-N?
She's still.
I hate dating.
She's married to you.
For now.
Dude, the last thing.
So far.
It's been a year.
My last date
Plus.
and my last time of dating someone, my pickup line is, as I asked my wife now if she wanted a bite of my orange because she was the same company I worked.
Were you eating oranges?
Yes. I was thinking it I came in.
Like an innuendo.
No, it was super awkward. And I don't know how she
It's
stuck
still
with
awkward.
me. She shared an office with where we were, and I was just like, I've been noticing. I was like, man, she's really cute, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck it. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Hey, I got some orange. You like a piece?
It's nice.
And she gave me no. And then came back to work. I'm like, all right, I'm not giving up. Like, you're around
Do you
here?
not like oranges? I mean, that's like
That's a good
icebreaker,
follow-up
man.
question.
More of like a
It worked,
Clementine?
apparently.
More of like an apple girl.
It worked.
Clearly.
So the first time Jess and I hung out outside of work, because we used to work together, the first time we hung out, we worked on the same study together, but then something happened at the end of the day that she was super nervous about, and she had called me while I was on my way home, and I answered the phone, and I was like, all right, let's do something, take your mind off of it. Let's meet at Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
And so
Slim Pickens in Ohio.
Yeah.
Says. No, you're not
Jess and I
wrong.
Jess and I met at Dave and
I'm
Buster's, And the
Much
whole
above my weight class.
Same. I'll
Yeah.
kick in my coverage, no doubt.
the whole time Jess and I were at Dave and Buster's hanging out, she was actually thinking about setting me up with one of her best friends.
Yeah, Kristen tried to set me up with two of her friends.
I
Actually,
remember that.
one we don't talk about her name anymore, and the
Yeah.
other is
It's like a Voldemort thing.
yeah, yeah. The other is a good friend of ours. They just had their first baby at our wedding. Actually, not at the wedding. They conceived at the wedding.
That's right.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
All right.
Presidente baby.
Yes.
One thing you miss about sports: 90 Bulls,
90 Bulls.
the 90s Bulls.
Oh, 90s
Mid-
Bulls. Yes.
Mid 90s Cowboys. No,
1988 Notre Dame.
no, I miss I miss when the point of professional sports was to just, Steve, we're all old enough to remember this, when the best players wanted to beat and go up against the best players
Yes.
and not, hey, let's join forces. Thanks LeBron for ruining every fucking
I
professional
was gonna say
sports.
flopping, but we have the same reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was more, it was more cutthroat back then. Like everyone wanted to play hard against each other.
Sure.
Everyone wanted to
Yeah.
beat,
Especially
the best people.
80s, 90s, man.
Michael wanted to beat Bird, and Bird wanted to beat him, and they wanted to beat Magic, and Magic wanted
all
like
the Celtics. Yeah. LA.
everyone wanted to beat one another. But then when they all got together for the Olympics, when it came to time for the Olympics, that all went away. They're like, hey, let's just go beat the shit out of everybody by 40 points.
Watch the special on the 92 Dream Team. That did not go away. They were super competitive about that.
Oh,
You ever see a
absolutely.
practice scene?
The
yeah.
greatest game never shown. Yeah, that practice.
With
Oh,
each
absolutely.
other, but not other teams. They
Oh,
fucking blew through them.
Magic and Michael were both the captains, and they went at each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even though they were on the same team, like no. When
I don't watch a whole lot of WNBA, and I'm not gonna say it's amazing to watch, but I tell you what, if you watch any of the highlights, they are like the fucking late 80s and early 90s.
Yes, they are.
of NBA.
Fuck yeah.
Holy shit, they beat the shit out of each other.
And I grew up playing soccer. I played in high
Good.
school. I played
This lighter does
college.
work.
I coached. I did everything. And there was a time before all the pros turned into big pussies and kept falling.
Flopping.
Whatever.
No,
It's ridiculous. But
thanks, soccer.
But back then, and even the women's team now, they still play with that hunger. They don't
Mhm.
do the fucking fake bullshit. And I hate that.
Oh,
It ruins the momentum of the game.
It's strategy now. They've allowed it to a point. They're trying to correct it, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, they penalized
World
it.
Cup, they're trying to.
They
correct it.
penalized it.
If you,
not enough.
You agreed.
I remember when the U.S. played their first game, this guy dove took a dive and they yellow card our player, and then they replayed it and nope, he dove and yellow card the guy that dove.
Oh
They
yeah.
should do that fucking
Absolutely.
10 times a game.
Do you know how many fans from the U.S. that FIFA won doing that? So many people saw that and goes, yes. Well, and shit, even the NBA had to start doing that. It got flopping got so bad in the NBA that it got to the point where the refs are like, all right, if you're flopping, we're going to give you a warning, and then it's going to be a tech, or the other team gets a free throw. Like, if you guys keep doing this shit, now we're actually going to start penalizing you.
All right, full circle. Bourbon cigars. One thing you miss about bourbon cigars.
Back when there wasn't allocated shit.
I don't think we were into it then.
No.
But I agree. I wish it was a part of it. back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I think even then, like, you had some of those that were like, when we all got into bourbon, there were still items that were allocated, and people would go and rush out to get, but there weren't the lines. There wasn't necessarily the secondary that was absolutely ridiculous on these products. Now it's just gotten stupid.
Cigars are the same way. I feel like, and like, I feel like cigars are actually the mature brother of bourbon, right? So like, we already went through that as a cigar smoker, right? There's still like the Opus.
You still got the Opus, the Añejo
Cubans.
from them.
Cubans when they were cheaper.
But what I miss though, on that same note, Nate, is I miss, you get a bottle of bourbon or you get cigars because you were happy to find the bottle or it's your favorite
Sure.
and you wanted to drink it to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And share the experience.
Well, share the experience and not necessarily just get hammered off of it, but to enjoy the flavor and actually
kind of like we're doing now.
Well, and enjoy, yeah, exactly. And enjoy the conversation and enjoy the buzz. I mean, like it is sometimes enjoyable to get that little bit of like, you know, it's like, you know, this tastes good. I've had a couple, like feeling good. You know what I mean? Like I miss that.
Get up, take a piss, and almost fall over. Yeah.
Like well, that's where it gets a little later in the night. But
yeah,
I mean,
but even,
those nights are good too, as long as you're safe. I miss the about the bourbon and the cigars is for what the reason they're made.
Yeah.
To enjoy. Yeah. You know, it's to try to like the creators of both those products is to obviously, as Joe was saying earlier from Barrell Craft Spirits is, and we're smoking now in AJ. I mean, it's a business, but it's like you want people to enjoy. Like when you were like talking to him about like when he's out at an event and someone says like, I really enjoyed this. It's like, that's why. That's what I miss because it's not always the case anymore because people are lined up or they're just trying to add to their collection. It's like, I don't like any of that.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, I appreciate it because it drives the industries. That's fine. You know what I mean? That's great. But it's like, don't like just enjoy the bottle, man.
There was a cigar I loved from Punch. And I mentioned it before to you guys, but like back in the 90s, especially, they were selling like hotcakes. It was like Punch Royal Coronation. And I found it on some obscure website. They still have them.
Yeah.
But it's a box of 30 and they're like $200, which is they weren't expensive, but it's almost nostalgic for me to smoke them because I remember like going on fishing trips up in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and having a whole box and smoking them, and just that flavor and that resin just it brings me back, you know, to when it was a more simpler time. And even now, like they have cigars that are like I love Crown Heads, but they keep making these the best cigar ever made. Only I made 300 boxes. Like, come on, man.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of companies that do that. You know, we had the guys from Espinosa on last week, and you know, the Avant-Garde, you know, starting out as a limited, but then you know they do some of those yearly limited releases. Crown Head does some of those. I mean, you have some of those companies that every year, you know, they're like, hey, here comes this year's batch of this product, and you know. That's when we start getting calls at the shop like, hey, you guys got this in? Like, nope, not yet. Or, you know, hey, you got this in? Yep. Just let you know it's limit 2 per person. Like, because
I can appreciate the actual scarcity of it, right? That it's not you're buying it to collect or do a secondary, but cigars, whiskey, it's like they can only produce so much that adds to the special moment of enjoying those cigars.
Yep.
And it is
100%.
And then it's up to us as consumers. You know, it's like you have it. Well, I'm saving it for a special occasion. I don't want to smoke it because I'll never have another one. It's like, what's the right strategy there?
Yeah, I've got a couple in my humidor that I'm kind of like, same thing.
Yeah,
I had a Davidoff that this guy gave me when I was in Texas for training with work, and we had a great conversation. And the night he's like, here, it's on me. Well, lo and behold, about a year ago, it must have fell out of the humidor when I was going through them, and my dog decided to just destroy it. So
which dog? And did they enjoy it?
Uncle Peanut Butter. I think
he enjoyed it.
He did. Fortunately, he didn't eat any of it. He just tore it apart because they were like, I kind of looked up and like, if they eat the whole cigar, it's kind of dangerous.
High nicotine level.
Yeah. So,
all right, closing remarks.
Yeah, Nate. Or I can go up here.
Go ahead. I'm responding to Ray.
He's busy.
Sorry. Yeah, Ray keeps us on check. I think overall, sorry, and I apologize. The first topic, I kind of brought everybody down with some shit.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, we were trying to avoid that, and I ended up doing it. But we came back
don't worry, I carried it on.
Yeah, but we came back with better ones, and it's good to laugh, especially when you're in a situation in your life where you're kind of just seems like you're not sure which ends up. And for me, this is just a show, and being here tonight with you guys online and Steve and Nate, it's just a good kind of reset to remember there are good times, even in hell when all hell's breaking loose. So
Energy level is phenomenally better.
Yeah. So that I'm extremely grateful for. And yeah, man, and even bringing up these stories, it kind of, I'll probably leave and think about even more and remember that it was
about Nate and a cheerleader outfit.
That one will stick with me fucking up front, man. That'll always be on the tip of my tongue.
I don't like that.
No,
We don't like that for different reasons.
I want to see him do it again. That's my whole point.
Now it's called obsession.
A little bit. I'm giving him 6 months to stretch his quads and groin and see if we can make it work.
I'd have to lose 20 pounds to
That's
get
all
back
right.
to that weight.
You can do it. You've already lost a bunch.
That was over 3. That was over 3 years.
We'll get you on like a wrestler's diet, trying to cut weight. You know, we'll see what works.
I am not wearing trash bags underneath my clothes.
You absolutely are. It's determined.
I could probably buy
next week on the podcast, next 2 weeks, Nate's gonna be in there in like trash bags.
Yeah.
Well, it's back up to 92 in the garage, and
yeah, and say, hey,
forget the whiskey. I'm drinking nothing but water.
I
wish, like we could like zoom, like like just pan in, like so it's just Sean and I. Like Nate's fine.
He's a little damp.
We may have to call the squad because he's dehydrated.
Getting him some help.
I'm gonna buy a 2-piece cheerleader outfit, medium, and then you have to be able to fit on that.
List.
If it's not the right colors, I'm not wearing it.
Oh, well, give me the colors and I'll get it.
Dude, you got to figure it out.
I'll just buy a bunch of them.
Close your marks as you give me my lighter so I can light my screen.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry, we're on a tangent there. Thank you. Love you guys. Appreciate it. This is exactly what I needed.
Nate and the cheerleader outfit.
That's one of them.
AI.
Gosh,
don't do it.
Oh, shit.
Don't do it. God damn it.
Steve.
So remember that question where where you immediately regret it?
There it is.
Steve got on the list.
That's it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to.
God, that's gonna.
No.
Okay, I won't.
I'm gonna have to second guess some things now.
Nate, do you have closing remarks?
Do I what?
Closing remarks.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting the way. So a lot of the stuff we talked about today, we're talking about old memories and nostalgia. We're going back 20, 30 years on a lot of these things that we've been talking about.
Not that long.
It's the exact opposite, though, of what we talked about last week.
Right.
Last week was, we were talking about, I think we ended with, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Next
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. About growing old, the next things we're doing, where we think we're going to be or what we want to be 10 years from now. But then this week, it's the exact opposite. We're reminiscing on all the things from 20, 30 years ago. And it's kind of good to have that. You have to have that balance because you don't necessarily want to have the past always dragging you down and bringing you back to where you can't move forward. But then you don't want to keep looking so far into the future that you forget about everything that you experienced leading up to the now.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's a balance between the future, the past, and the now. The important thing is, how do you balance all of those aspects together? How do you learn from everything in the past? But then also, how do you make the choices and changes you need to now so that way what you're doing now is something you reminisce about in the future?
I think that being present is a good thing to kind of make that your staple, and then being able to look back or look forward and not let either one overwhelm you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think we get caught up more in the now or the past or just the future?
It depends.
Well, yeah.
But
which one occupies your worry?
You used to be the future. And I've been working hard on that because projecting is the worst thing. If you're thinking about things that you're worried that could happen, that's the worst thing you can do. But like, I miss looking forward to things. Like, I used to go on golf trips. I used to go like the Smoking Tent event, and certain things are going on vacation, like going to your wedding. Still probably the best vacation I've ever had. And
bringing it up, man. You already talked about my black eye.
I didn't. That wasn't the best part, though. It was just
agreed.
I brought it up once. You're bringing it up. You lock it up.
Let it go.
So
let it go.
No, but it was just, I loved having that no worries, nothing. There's nothing I need to worry about. I'm here. I'm enjoying my time with the people around me. And that's the stuff that I try to look forward to. And it gets tough because sometimes you don't always have something to look forward to. And it's not something you should always have, but it's always nice to have something to work towards.
So I agree with you, but I also disagree with you on that, because it's like, Nate, you asked what are you, the past, the future, or the present, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you more concerned with? How'd you phrase that?
I said, which occupies more of your worry?
It depends on where you're at.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. So I think that when
That's fair.
things are good, it's so easy to take it for granted. You know what I mean? You sometimes things are good, you are worried about the future. You're not even concerned about the past, right? So things are good at the moment. So you're not even worried about now. You're not concerned about keeping that momentum going as much as you are worried that, you know, in the future, things out of your control might be changing. You know, Sean, with you and Molly, it's, you know, it's like it's now. Where a few years ago you saw it coming, you're probably like concerned with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mindset a lot of times. I think for me, you know, right now things are good. I am thankful that, you know, with the wedding trip, you know, technically we were married, so that could have been a quick annulment, but I'm glad that, you know, Griffin stuck through that. And you know what? It's impactful that we went through that. Sure. I guess it's so dumb on my part that it happened, and obviously it wasn't intentional.
Sure.
The fact that it started in the beginning, we've had our other trials, you know, along the way on both sides of the coin for both of us. I mean, no one's perfect. It's like it's. I guess for me, I don't like it when people, and I've been there before, but I really struggled through it before my life with Kristen. When I went through some difficulties, you're allowed to enjoy yourself, and that people struggle with that. I truly do think that. You know, Sean, you saying that, you know, like that wedding trip for our wedding was so great. It's like, you can look forward to that again. You're allowed to do that. And it's not just you, I'm saying in general, but it is aimed towards you in that general stance, right? Sure. It's like we handcuff ourselves too often on these things where it's like nostalgia, like everything we talked about, were like some tough moments, but mostly positive moments where it's like, yeah, people just, some of the happiest people that you know have been through shit, and when they're in a good moment, you're like, man, I wish I had that. And you're like, what led them to that? You know, right now I'm in a great place.
Good.
But it doesn't mean that you guys have known me long enough. People on the podcast have known me long enough. It's like that. It wasn't always easy. And, you know, one thing that I feel like that I have done in more recent years is when things weren't good, I tried to at least like tackle it, like go after it. Sometimes not in a healthy way, sometimes in a very healthy way. And it was more of those moments that when you get knocked down, you do try to like work through it. And when things are going well now, it's like, I am so aware of how, when things are good, I'm more aware now that when things are good, that they are good. In the past, when I was younger, it wasn't that. You know, this is how life should be. Man, I tell you, it's life should be a certain way, but it's rarely that way.
Yep.
And as soon as things are good, you almost, a lot of times people will like wait for the next, you know, the other shoe to drop. Yep. Exactly. And I don't live that way anymore.
Same.
So it's like, I look forward to that. Chris and I are very fortunate to be in the situation we are still, you know, 5-6 years into our relationship, over a year. I can't
believe it's that long, man.
But it seems like forever.
Yeah.
Because while I acknowledge and remember the good times of the past and the bad times of the past. It's like I'm so focused on now and the future, and it's a I don't want to say it's a relief. It's a good feeling to have that mindset that
So I was going to say mindset.
something could happen tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's just things haven't been like completely smooth for us. Again, it's like
your house and shit, but you took it on the chin. You kept fucking moving
the
forward.
house, the car,
Yeah.
the
It's a lot.
again, even at the wedding, you know what I mean? Like that was a hardship, and it's still like we still, as a couple, we still deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've grown from it, but it doesn't erase the past. But it's like you grow from it. And it's like, but to hear, like even you, Sean, saying like, it's like that was such a great time. It's like you can't have that again. Not necessarily you can't repeat it. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
when we go to like these vacations, it's like we've gone back to similar vacations, and it's never the same. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's as good or better, but it's not going to be the same. And so that's where it's with all these things, with the topic of like, I'll pull it back up here. What is something you miss that doesn't exist anymore? There's a lot of things like that. I miss, on a positive side of it is I miss not being able to meet Kristen again for the first time.
Sure.
Not being able to meet you guys for the first time, not being able to do this podcast for the first time, not, it's like, I remember the first day in the cigar shop after being let go from the company I was at. And it was like all of these things, those very, troubling moments, but there's also like really positive things that came from it. That's for me is something that I wish more people could just realize the things that are troubling them when things are good or they're bad. It is just the fact that I wish that everyone, myself included, would continue to like embrace the good and focus on that. And the things that are holding them back, it's like you're allowed to feel good. You're allowed to feel joy.
I understand what you're saying, dude.
And I know you do. This is not directed at Sean or Nate directly. It's just, man, it's just so fun to realize that as you're living your life, it's okay to allow yourself and not to let other people, when you're having good times, to make, it must be nice. It is.
Yeah.
And when things are bad, it's like, no, I'm here for you. It's like, thank you. You guys have been here for me through tough times. And it's always that reminder of, it's like things they're going to be good. You know how to be good. You know how to be better. All of the things that kept you guys smiling and laughing tonight were like these good memories. And those are those moments. Like, what is something you miss that doesn't exist anymore? This nostalgia part of it is like, carry that in your forefront.
Make this moment your nostalgia.
Well, yeah. Or if it's not, it's like, I had a great time then. I had a great time at this point. And, all those simpler moments that were things were really clicking. It's like, strive for that. I mean, it's not as easy doing it and saying it. And man,
but I think everything that we have so far in our life have gone through, we didn't give up. We've always pushed forward to the next thing, knowing that just like if you're going through shit, like I've go through shit all the time. I'm in one of those seasons now, but it's not going to devastate me to where I won't do anything at all. It's a part of a life lesson with everything I've gone through. And I can look back on times when I was like this before, and I kind of can like learn from what I've done in the past to correct what I'm dealing with now. And I am. And so there's steps in the right direction. And to have the people through my job is what I'm going through, but they got people support me and really genuinely care and want me to be in a better situation. So that helps too, when you got people on your corner to help.
I'm getting together with a friend that I've known since college, and he's had a lot of issues, good and bad. I was in his wedding. we're getting together on Monday. I haven't seen him in probably 4 years, whatever, but he lives locally and he's had his struggles. And it's one of those things that like, I'd reach out to him, he'd talk back a little bit, text or whatever, and then he'd just drop off. And today he finally was like, so when are we getting together? And I was like, how's next week? So now we're getting together on Monday.
That's awesome.
And I don't know what the conversation is going to be. He's blown me away with some of the stuff he's gone through since I've seen him last. But it's one of those things. It's like, I don't know what's going to come of it, but it's like, yeah, let's get together. It's convenient that, you know, Kristen's out of town. So like the two of us can kind of just like reconnect hopefully. And I don't know if it's going to be a strong connection that we continue to hang out. You guys will meet him and all that stuff, but it could just be the one night and then it goes back to another 4 or 5 years where I don't see him again. But you know, it's, you know, what is something you miss that doesn't exist anymore? Shit like that, old friendships, you know what I mean? That were good at one point.
Yep.
And you don't always have to write them off. You just let them go for a point. And then now that he's reaching out again, it's like, I'm free Monday, you know, so we're going to get together at, you know, here and we'll see where it goes.
That's what I love about you, man. Yeah, man. It's been very, you've always been checking on me, and you're a good friend to know that like at any given moment, you're my 3 o'clock in the morning friend kind of thing, you know? And so to be blessed with people in my life, to have people like yourself, and Nate would do the same thing. It's really nice to have that, because a lot of people don't. And I know when you're down and you don't have anybody to reach out to, it just becomes worse. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man.
Love you, brother.
Love you too. I'm looking at you through the camera because I can't.
Love all you guys.
Yeah.
Especially you, Nate. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Happy Whiskey Wednesday. Yes. It's gonna be 2 weeks. We did this kind of back to back, but we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Let you guys know what's going on. We appreciate all your support, and we will absolutely check in with you in a couple of weeks, guys. Thank you very much.
Yep. Love you, Ray.